Hey, everybody. It's Gillum Farms again today. What I want to do is with this video is I actually want to help people. That's the whole goal of it, is just to help. I just want people to be able to take what they have got and to take it to the next level, take it to, to where it works for them. Because I'm telling you that YouTube can be an actual stream of income. It you know it, and it'll be what you make it. It'll be what you end up making it. Let's just put it that way. I'm going to be talking about some simple things today. I'm going to be talking about stuff like SEO scores, content, the creator content, where what the recommended videos are, thumbnails and things like that. This I expect this to be kind of a series. I just thought I'd start it today. I may do it sometimes on Saturday nights whenever we're supposed to be doing chilling with the Gillums. I may do some of it on Saturday nights and stuff like that, so that we end up having a time to do it. So I know it's not for everyone, and I expect not a huge amount of folks to be in here, but it's fine but I think that you're going to take something away from it. And I see everybody out there saying hello and hello to everyone. And I'm not really going to go through the, individuals and stuff like that. But what I am going to do is I'm going to open up I'm going to start with something. Then I'm going to open up the board a little bit. I'm going to have people come up, and I'm going to have you come up one at a time. And it's people who have questions or who have something to share on what they have learned. And then that way we don't get caught up in the noise, is what I'm trying to say. If we get too big a panel going, it ends up being noise. And I don't want it to be noise. I want it to be helpful. All right. So the first thing that I'm going to talk to you guys about is SEO scores. Does everyone know what an SEO score is on a video? SEO scores are whenever search engine optimization is what it is, and it's a score. So whenever you're trying to get your video seen, you're trying to get it out there, so you want to have a good SEO score on your video. And I can show you an example of an SEO score. There is Jesse at Lazy Days Ahead. Jesse and Lisa, welcome. Thanks for coming in. So I'm going to share a screen here, and let me add this up here. All right. If you don't have TubeBuddy already, or one of the vidIQs, or one of the other programs out there, then you might want to get that, because you can't really, with YouTube analytics, you can't really find SEO scores and things like that in there. Creator suggested is another one, and things like that. So this is just a pretty average auction video for Gillum Farms. And you can see, I wish I could highlight this or something right here. Let me make it to where it's just, I'm not even in it. Okay. If you will look over there below that 404 likes, you'll see an SEO score that says 100. Okay. That means that I have done what it takes as far as with the tags and the things like that in order to get an SEO score of 100. What you're trying to do is you're trying to get your number to 100. 100 is the number that you're striving for. And the way you do that is by using, whenever you're going into you're making your video, you have a place where you can put tags. Well, make sure you fill that. There are, I think in the tagline, you can have 500, 500 letters in there, right? So you can see I've got all the tags: the animals, auction, Brangus, bull, bulldozer, etc., etc. I've got all that stuff in there. So what happens is whenever you fill every one of those 500, then it bumps your SEO score up, because you've got things that people can they can actually. Where do I find Milk and Honey Heritage Farm? Where do I find that? If you look right here on my screen, that's actually one of my videos, and you can see it over here where it says Videolytics at the top on the right hand side. I don't know if you're watching me on a phone or what, but you know, you might have to screenshot it and blow it up, but you can see the SEO score right there of 100. So whenever you go, you can also see something else that's very, very important in there. And that is over to the left, 2 spaces from the SEO score, is something called creator suggested. And so whenever, I know your screen doesn't look like that, Jennifer, because you have to have TubeBuddy or something like that in order for your screen to look like that. But over there to the left of that picture that I posted up, or on the left hand side of where the Videolytics stuff is, you can see one that says creator suggested. And what that means is once your video finishes, once somebody watches it all the way through, then it's going to have more suggested videos behind that. That means of the next 20 suggested videos that are behind the video that you just watched, 6 of them are mine. 6 of those 20 are Gillum Farms videos. And a creator suggested of 6 out of the next 20 is actually pretty good. So, but those are things that, you know, in order to get your SEO score up and then get YouTube to actually suggest your videos after your video is done. Not only the one that you tag, say the 1 or 2 that you tag in there, but actually getting YouTube to suggest your videos to other folks in its own right, in its own mind. Okay. Now you're also going to see down here best practices, and you'll go down 3 lines below the SEO score and the total views and all that stuff, and you'll see best practices. And and I know it's hard to read, and I apologize for that. Like I said, screenshot it, take a picture with your phone, and all that. And what you can do is you can see the best practices, high res thumbnail. So it says I've got a green check on a high res thumbnail. So my thumbnail was a good thumbnail for the video. It says it was liked on Facebook because I actually put that one on Facebook. I just put a link to it on Facebook. I don't typically do that because I don't always do anything with Facebook on any of this stuff, because I have found that people will watch. If they don't know you, they'll watch the video. If they know you, they won't watch the video. How's that? They'll, you know, I don't know what the mentality is on that, but people will, if they don't know you, they'll watch your stuff. If they do know you, they probably won't watch your stuff that much. Comment hearted, which means that somebody commented, I hearted their comment. Captions added. So I added some captions in different places saying how much things went for, and then I have an end screen that I added to it. Things that I didn't do, and I should have pinned a comment on this one, which means that I should have so what I should have done is I see Jesse is putting out all this SEO score out there that he's Googling up. But what I have done is a lot of times I'll pin a comment, and that will actually help. chapters added, which means you add chapters inside. So whenever you've got breaks in what you're doing in your video, you can add chapters to it, which means a person, like if you're fixing a car or something like that, a person can look at that and they can go, all right, well, at this point right here is where we switched and we went to doing something else as far as fixing that car. I'm going to put myself back on the screen just a little bit here. Maybe I'm still there. I am. Okay. So a person can actually look at that and they can go, all right, this was this step of fixing the car. This was this step of fixing the car. This is this step of fixing the car. Okay. So all of those are chapters added. Yes. If you, if you go and you do like best practices, you can look at, do a high resolution thumbnail, info cards added, in screen added, comment pinned, liked on Facebook, captions added. You heart a comment and you added chapters, then you have done absolutely everything in the best practices mode. So, but what your goal is your goal is getting the video out there. You've got to get the video out into the community. You've got to get, and when I say community, I mean the whole YouTube community. So not just your community. You want it to be seen, because I'll give you an example. We all have folks who watch every video that we make. There are people that will do that, but there's not that many. So what you're trying to do is you're trying to get it out to where all these people who have never heard of you, never seen you or anything like that, that they click on your video. And once they click on your video, they see something that holds them in your video. And that's another thing I'm going to talk to you about. I'm going to talk to you about longevity, how you hold people in a video. The first goal is hold them past 30 seconds. Once you hold them past 30 seconds, then you try to up that a lot. If you can hold someone in your video for more than 8 minutes in your video, you're doing pretty darn good, especially if it's a big video, if it's a good video. Yeah, personally, don't have 10 million close friends. That's right. Oh, you're welcome, Nan. I just thought I would do it. Nana and 9 Acres is in here, said thanks for taking our place tonight. And I just thought, Lisa, I just thought I'd do something a little different. I thought I would, because I've already done a home, one of the lives where it's just, me going over what we're doing. I thought I would just share what I know and maybe help some folks. So that's what I'm trying to do here. All right. So now, if you don't have TubeBuddy or vidIQ, it's really hard to see this, but I'm going to tell you right now, if you want, maybe it need to be the first 30 seconds or 30 seconds overall. You need to hold them for at least the first 30 seconds of your video. That's why a lot of people will put in, they'll put in things right there in the first 30 seconds. Like a lot of times in some of my videos, I will put in highlights, just little short 3-second clips that are through that video that are like, bam, 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 this happened, this happened, this happened. Once you get them held past 30 seconds, basically I call it like the clock starts ticking at that point. And then you want to hold them farther than that. Hi, Ann. Astawa Ann. Hello. Thanks for coming in. I have this in subscriber mode only, so I'm assuming that you have subscribed, and I appreciate that. Yes, and this is the free version of TubeBuddy, so it doesn't cost you anything. What I have right here, this is actually free. So, all right. So let me go show you something else here about longevity of a video. I'm going to try to, let me get out of this one. All right. So I'm going to get out of that one and I'm going to go to longevity of a video. how long people keep watching it throughout. And that, I think that'd be a real eye opener for you if somebody watches your stuff and they keep watching it. Let me go to here. Go to, there we go. All right. And I'm going to do a few things, not only videos, but I'm going to do shorts as well. There's a lot of people who have certain conceptions about shorts, that shorts don't help and things like that. So I'm going to show you how shorts can actually help you and things like that. So let me go back to channel content. I had one pulled up earlier, and I'll get to the shorts later. All right, I'm going to pull up that same video. This is over in YouTube. This is like what everybody sees right here on your own channel. It's not it's your analytics. Oh, snap. Something went wrong. All right. And get rid of all the spam here. All right. So this is a video I put out. Oh, how long did I put? It's been a while. I put it out a while back. Over a week ago, I guess. Let me share this one. Go to get this one out. Stop screen. Center invite. Share. All right. Here we go. All right. Here's what you would see. Like, this is the same exact video. This is the one that I was going over just a minute ago. And it's talking about, like, you know, how many views, how much watch time you got for this video, the income from this video, how many subscribers you got from this video, et cetera, et cetera. So this is like a fairly average auction video. It's not the high-end auction video. It's not like I'm putting out the biggest video I've ever done or anything like that. It's just an average video, auction video for Gillum Farms. So in 48 hours, in the last 48 hours, 317 more people have watched it. It's kind of fizzling off there. You can see the lines. You can see how it traveled. It went up, and it's just kind of, it's gradually moving upward, but it's at a very slow pace. But even any time whenever it's moving upward, it's making money. So it will continue to have money trickling in. So I didn't see everyone. I closed the chat on TV to see the pages. Yeah. So anyway, you can see how that video has started, you know, has actually worked for the channel. And that video has been out. I think I might have put that video out like last week or something like that. I think I put that one out last week. And like I said, Derek, that's just like a fairly average one. Yeah, views make money. That's absolutely right. And I want to put this up here. Views make money. Subscriber count does not make money. Everybody needs to know that right now. Subscribers, once you get over 1,000 subscribers, that's it. Then it's views. What you're trying to do is you're trying to get views. You're trying to get people to click on your video, and you're trying to get them to stay in your video. Okay. So if you can get them to click in your video and then actually stay, then you actually make money. Subscribers come with views, and subscribers will come on their own. There's nothing that you need to do. You don't need to go you know, you don't need to do a lot of different things in order to get subscribers. If you have over 1,000, then you're looking for views. So you go for views with that. So once, you know, because I can tell you, if I've got, all right, the Gillum Farms channel has 20 something thousand subscribers. All right. I don't even know how many. I don't really pay that much attention to it. I'm sure I could look at the thing right now and tell you. But what I look at is how the videos are doing, how the views are doing, and stuff like that on the videos. So, yes. So that's what I'm just saying. Don't worry about your subscriber count. Worry about your views. That's what you need to do. Also, a big channel is a channel with views. We used to have, a long time ago, we used to have a thing to where everybody, you know, would look at the subscriber count on a video and stuff like that, or on a channel, and they would determine if it was a big or small channel based on subscriber count. We don't do that anymore. Now it's everybody, you look at how many views the channel gets. So, but I'm just telling you, it's all about the money for YouTube. AdSense is all based on views, guys. All right. So, all right, let me go and let's talk about, let's see, is there anything else on this one that we can do, that we can find that will help us at all? Yeah, views make money and the shipping department takes it away. That's right. Absolutely. Absolutely. So that's funny. So anyway, I can't really go into things like, let's see, channel memberships and things like that, because we don't do channel memberships here. I know other people do, and I'm hoping that they will come in and they will tell us their experience and things like that. So that would be more along the lines of, you know, a alternative to AdSense monetary stream. This is all about AdSense. This is all about how you make money from ads that they put on your videos. All right. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go out of this one, and I'm going to show you a short. Let me get out of this one. Move that. Get off of that. Now let's go to a short. So go to, go back. Now, I hope this thing doesn't start playing, because I'm sure it will. And so you're going to have to listen to it for just a second until I can click through something here. And I apologize for that. Let me find a short. All right. Let me show you the short that actually got Gillum Farms to over 20,000 subscribers. Just let me pause that. All right. So this is a short. And why is it not telling me the... Yeah, I'm going to have to go somewhere else. Hang on just a minute. Go back to channel content. Go to a short. Let me keep going. Go down. And I apologize, guys, because I'm looking at totally different screens. I can't even see the chat right now because I'm just going backwards here. There's a lot of shorts on the channel. All right, here we go. I think. There it is right there. Let me click on this one. Do the analytics of this one. All right. This is a short. Let me go back to this. I've still held some of you. Thank you for staying. Let's share this, share a screen. All right, share back here. That is the short, but I want something to stop that one. I want to go to something else. I'm trying to share. There you go, right there. All right, this is a short. All right, this short is the one that actually got a bunch of subscribers for the channel. I got 7,000 subscribers for the channel. All right. It got 2.5 million views, and you can see what it made for income right there. And I'm not shy about sharing any of that stuff. So it made $585.51. That short did. So you can see down there, it says the average view duration of that short was 26 seconds, which was pretty good because I think the short's only like 15 seconds. So people were watching it, beyond. Average percentage viewed was 133.7% of that actual short. So shorts can bring income. You can make money off shorts. Not every short's going to do that kind of traction or anything like that. But if you add them all up, they actually do bring income. There have been months where actually shorts income has actually outpaced video income on the Gillum Farms channel. So I'm going to tell you about shorts right now. I've watched it. I've seen it. I've watched a bunch of people's and stuff like that. So here we go. Whenever you're doing a short, remember it's a short for a reason. Short is in the name. Make it short. Make that thing. If I make one more than 15 seconds long, it's got to be something pretty spectacular, because a short it's hard. You're looking at a totally different audience with shorts as opposed to videos. There are shorts people on YouTube, and I'm going to tell you right now, see those subscribers up there? There's very few of those that watch any of the actual long videos. They subscribe. I still put out shorts for them and stuff like that, but very few of those folks are actually watching the long form videos. I've got maybe a couple that are actually watching the long form videos. So what you do is make sure that short is short enough to hold them through the whole thing. If they click off of it before the short ends, you failed. You need to make sure that they stay in that short more than 100% of the time. Try to keep those shorts short, Rainy Ridge. Try to make them short. And whenever you're setting up your thumbnail for that, because it's going to be a point in the short, just make sure that you have a thumbnail that has a grabber. You try to do the most, you try to make sure that the thumbnail is exactly the scene that you would like people to see in order to click on your short, for one thing. And once they click on your short, there you go. Now, we seem to get more new subs from shorts than when we do longer videos. That is correct. Shorts are subs. If you want, you know, like, there are different ways of getting big sub counts nowadays in YouTube, and I'm not going to go into all of them, but shorts are subs. Remember that shorts are subs. Lives are views, you know, or not views, but watch hours. Lives are watch hours a lot of times, and views are money. That's on long form or short form. You get paid. A lot of people say, well, yes, Derek Feller says people have a short attention span. They do. Hey, Sunset. So they have a very short attention span, and it's because it's the TikTok generation. So whenever you're making that short, make it short. Now, if you have to edit a short, which you can shoot a short. You know, you can shoot on your phone. You can shoot for, you know, you can shoot 5 minutes of video or whatever, and you can make a short out of that, but edit it. Put it in your CapCut, your iMovie, put it in whatever, and edit it. Bam, 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 bam. Just make sure that every little spot where it's, you know, edited keeps grabbing them. And edit that 5-minute video down to 15 seconds of, you know, just the most amazing footage that happened in 5 minutes there. And you will get them to hold. And once you get them to hold, then you start making money at YouTube. YouTube can be a lot of fun, and that's what we want it to continue to be. We want it to continue to be a lot of fun, but we also want it to pay for itself. So there is and that's just an example of a short that you know, people. Here's another thing. I've heard people say it takes 1 million views to make $100 on a short, things like that. Well, that's not true, and you can see that right there. Shorts are based on, yes, every channel dynamic is different because we are different personalities with different content. That's right. And I'm going to tell you, if you find the content that YouTube wants to push, you need to keep on with that content. YouTube is funny. It will, you know, it might show, like, I can tell you right now that the video I like to make for my channel is not the video that YouTube likes me to make. So, good night, Vineyard Chick. Family Homestead, I'm glad you were here. I'll try to come back, but going to lurk now. Bye. We'll probably be on here for a little bit. Yeah, clickbait does backfire. And I'm going to talk about that too. I think I got myself bleeding now. Gosh. Anyway. So, hi, Lacey. So, what happened? Yeah, clickbait can backfire. The only time that clickbait can actually work to your advantage is if you are a fan page. Now, there are, yes, Shallow Acres. If you got 29-second shorts, they're about twice too long. A short that is 7 to 15 seconds long, I'm telling you, it's got to be short. So, and the only reason I put this short up there is because I've got a few shorts that have over 1 million views on them. But this is the one that really started the upward trend of the what do you call it? The subscriber count on Gillum Farms. This is the point where everybody was saying, boy, you're jumping really fast. Well, that's because of this short right here. And I pride myself on the fact that it's always been about views. It's always been about views for me. Man, I'm bleeding like crazy. All right. So anyway, let me go back here, and I'm gonna talk to you a little bit about. I'm gonna remove this. Bang, there I am. All right. So I'm going to talk to you about. Let's talk about thumbnails for a minute. Let's just do that because somebody said something about thumbnails earlier. So thumbnails, you want a good catchy thumbnail. Clickbait thumbnails, unless you are a fan channel. Gillum Farms is not a fan channel. We don't have fans. There are some channels where they could, I'm telling you, they could put out a video of, they could set their GoPro up out there on grass seed that's trying to germinate, and people would sit there and watch it. We're not that channel. We're not that channel at all. Yeah, I've got one in. Thank you. So so since we're not that channel, we have to count on new folks who actually come in and then want to like it enough to stay. And then hopefully they'll come back later and watch something else and stuff like that. So for a thumbnail, I have a theory about thumbnails, okay, and I've tested it on my own channel. I have found that if I make myself the focal point of the thumbnail, the views aren't very good. If I make the actual subject of the video is the focal point, then I get then I get views. I'm reading Jesse's little comment down there. Yes, Chris, I've got some fans, but I mean, whenever I say a fan channel, I'll give you an example. Andrew Camarada is a fan channel. Andrew Camarada can do a video that is 2 hours or 3 hours long, and it will be called Mowing My Lawn. And he will have millions of views on that from the same exact people, and I'm one of them. I will watch that Mowing My Lawn video from beginning to end. So yeah, if you put words on the right side of the thumbnail, they would get covered by YouTube words and things like that. Exactly. Make sure that what I try to do is I try to put the words down low enough to where they don't get covered from the top, because whenever you look at something on a phone, it's smaller than it is on like a screen. And when I say a screen, like a computer screen or a television screen or something like that, so you got to put it down far enough, up high enough. Okay, that's not what we'll get into that. The other thing is if I make myself the focal point, I put my picture right up there in the front on the thing. If somebody ever gets rubbed raw in one of my videos, I can guarantee that they will never ever click on my video again, ever. They will see my picture and they will never ever 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 click on my video again. But if I put the focus of my video as my thumbnail, they might not necessarily see Gillum Farms put out this video. And since they don't necessarily see that Gillum Farms put out this video, they will see the focus and they'll say that's something they're interested in. They will click on it. And a lot of times you can get a second chance from that. Take it for what it's worth. If having the focal be on you the entire time is your channel, then, and you like that, then that's great. But I'm just telling you, if you're not doing great, try to focus more on the subject. What's going on? What's going on with this 60 model Jeep? What's going on with this, cow right here? What's going on with this herd? What's going on with this, what's going on with what you're trying to video? What your actual video is actually about. So, Shallow Acres, mowing a lawn isn't my thing. However, running chainsaw is. I just like the sound. I can tell you right now that Andrew Camarada can make you like mowing my lawn. He will. Christine will even watch a 2-hour Andrew Camarada video of mowing my lawn that Andrew does, because while he's mowing his lawn, he may be changing all the hydraulics on his excavator and just all kinds of stuff like that. Yes, when I watch a video, I'll hit the like and I'll leave a comment. Yes. Yeah, once you find your tribe, the battle is won. YouTube is definitely a marathon, not a sprint. That is exactly right. So what you've got to do is you've got to find your niche, and it's like a galaxy. Okay, it is all like a galaxy. Just imagine that you're up there in the stars, and your little star is right here, but it's movable. Your star is movable, and you wanted to get it over by a galaxy of folks who are similar minded to you as far as what they like to watch or what they think they want your content. So if you make videos and you find that video that moves your little planet or star or whatever close to one of those galaxies, put that in your head. Which one did that? Because what you can also do is you can put out another video and it can pull your star away from that planet because it's a different type of video. The audience isn't there for it. I struggle with that greatly because the video I want to make, I make and I put on our channel all the time, and it will get very few views. I mean, it'll get, 200, 300, 400 views, something like that. That'll be what that video does. But then I can turn right around. The next video I can put out can be one that will make 19 to 50,000 views or whatever. And I'm talking a long form video, not a short. So it's really weird for YouTube to look at your channel whenever it's going, oh, I got 300 views. Oh, I got, this many views and it's something I really struggle with. I struggle with that greatly because so once you get people to watch, how do you get them to comment? I can tell you a way to get them to comment. Here's a way to get them to comment. Do something in your video that they think is stupid. All right. Do something in your video that, like, I can tell you that the most comments that I got on that one short about Danny and the fences are merely a suggestion was there's flies on Danny. Yeah, there's flies on Danny. So I got lots of comments about flies on Danny. I'm just saying. And I'll tell you right now that as far as YouTube is concerned, a negative comment or thumbs down is still considered someone, conversing with you. There's someone they're actually it's considered part of what they want. So whether it's thumbs down, thumbs up, it don't matter. It doesn't really matter. I'm telling you. So what I'm going to do right now is I'm going to I've been on here for 43 minutes talking by myself. I'm going to kind of put out the invite, and I'm going to let one person at a time up, and you just give me your question. We'll go through it. This isn't all I've got, guys. I've got a lot more stuff, and this is probably going to be just the first night of something like this. But I'm going to invite people up here. Let me get that copy, and then we're going to see if anybody has any questions or something that they can share. That would be great as well. So paste. All right, there's a StreamYard for the first person who wants to pop up, and we can talk about that. Yeah. It's still interaction, still attention. That's right. And I have a lot of times with, I have a lot of problems with words. A lot of times, the older I get, the worse it is. And I'm 60 now, as maybe a couple of you know. And I'll tell you what, it's been a lot of trouble. I laughed yesterday because our short up bubbling roast had over 200 views. I was poking fun at the husband not reading directions. Right. And everything is subjective. Whenever you're doing your shorts and stuff like that, you know what you get on average views. You know what you get on average views on your videos and stuff like that. What you do is you try to see what you can do to get more views, but you just don't want to get Do it in a way that doesn't compromise who you are, what you're about. If you're not one of them people that's always, crying that the sky is falling in every video, my hat's off to you, because that sky is falling stuff, that gets way overused in YouTube land. So yes, I found the most comments I got were from strangers, not from our community. I know a lot is our community's watch, because they will say I saw that video, but they don't comment. You just commented at the Vineyard Farmhouse. Yeah. So pork and beans, barbecue sauce, pulled pork and bacon. Oh my God. Yes, Christine is not feeling well. No, a view for a video will count if they don't have to watch the whole thing, Mitzi. They do not have to watch it. Your goal on a long form video is 30 seconds to start. You hold them for 30 seconds. Okay, that's when YouTube starts thinking that maybe you're onto something, because it's really hard to hold people for 30 seconds. I've got a video out that I put out, it's been about a month ago or so. It's a long form video. It's like 40 minutes long. It got 235,000 views or something like that. And it held for 235,000 views. It held over 8 minutes average. So that one was phenomenal. It held 235,000 viewers for over 8 minutes. I thought that was pretty friggin' good. And it's by far the biggest, as far as monetarily, it has pulled the most money so far. Yes, Mitzi, yeah. And that's the thing. That's the only thing I was going to say. Is you need to, I wish I'd have known this stuff whenever I started YouTube. I really do. I wish I'd have known it. And that's the only reason why I'm even doing any of this, is just so I can share a little bit of what I know about it. And then, like I said, I've got the thing out there. If anybody wants to pop in and say anything, if you can, if you want to pop in and we can converse one-on-one here and talk about it for a minute on what you're seeing. Is the app you're using called BuddyTube? No, it's called TubeBuddy. And whenever we do intros, I've done videos with and without intros and stuff like that. And I have found that I'd actually do better without an intro. I've done a little bit of everything on these videos. I've tried to see what works and what doesn't work. And that little short intro was at the beginning of this live used to be in like every one of my videos. And nowadays you'd be hard pressed to find it in any video that I've got now. I used to do a lot of grabbers at the very beginning of a video. What I like to do now is at the very, very end of the video, you have to watch the video to the very end to see this. So it's kind of like a Marvel movie. There's a little catch at the very end, right after I say, if you like this type of video, then like, comment, subscribe. And as always, everybody, God bless. If you'll keep watching right there, you will see a hint of something coming up. So I'm just saying, and I think that actually helps, because I have people comment about that all the time, and they'll say, "Oh, when are you going to do that? When are you going to do this? When, et cetera, et cetera." So I'm just saying that it is a good. Tony, come on up, man. I know you're out there, and you got my link. Tony, Jesse, any of you guys, I don't care. Come on up. Leonard Mountain, Bill, my Alaska. There we go. Let's get Bill up here. All right. Hey, Bill.
Hey, how are you? I figured I wouldn't leave you hanging.
Oh, I'm not hanging. I mean, I could go into a whole bunch of other
Oh,
stuff,
me too. Me
but
too.
I just thought I'd keep this first one kind of short.
Right.
And when I say short, I mean focused on
Right.
SEO scores. You know what YouTube puts out is your content, like the recommended videos that are going to have your
Right.
content in them after, and things like that. And then, of course, the fact that you can make money from shorts, you can
Yep.
get subscribers from views and stuff like that.
Right.
So, what do you got?
Not much. One thing I wanted to just, I guess, clarify a little bit about the thumbnails.
Yep.
What I was told is, yes, the thumbnail should always be about the main topic of the video. But also, I was told to always put yourself in that thumbnail with the
Who
main
told you?
topic.
I mean, I'm not. Never mind. I'm not even going to ask you who told you. It
Well,
depends
I'll tell you.
upon.
I'll tell you.
It
Luke
depends
from the
upon
Outdoor Boys.
who.
Luke from the Outdoor Boys.
Okay, fan channel.
Yeah.
That's a fan channel. That's a huge fan channel. That's like Andrew Camarada and
Yeah.
you know, et cetera. It's a huge. He's actually way bigger than Andrew Camarada.
Oh, way bigger.
Yeah. So that's
10
a fan
times.
channel. Yeah. They can do that. But Gillum Farms is not a fan channel.
Right.
Is My Alaska a fan channel?
No.
Okay. So whenever you're a fan channel, like I said, you can put out stuff like grass growing and paint drying and stuff like that, and people will watch it.
Right.
We don't have that luxury. We have the luxury of we got to put out something really good that people are going to, you know, just they find, you know, they searched it, it came up in YouTube recommendations or something like that. And we don't want to turn people off to our, what do you call it? They don't, we don't want people to think the video is all about us. We want them to
Right.
think it's about what we're doing and stuff like that.
Right. And that's why the main topic of the thumbnail should be what the main thing of the video is. Definitely.
Mm-hmm. If I put myself in the video, I'm never looking at the screen.
All right.
I'm typically always somewhere else. I'm either on the dozer.
Right.
You might see my hand with a you know, something in it, or me, you know, you might see me pointing at a cow, just my hand out there or something like that. And it's because I have put out all these videos. I have put out several videos with me and then I look at my analytics and I go, they're not liking something about that.
Right.
So,
a lot of my videos, I've checked the views on a lot of my videos, and I can't tell either way. Some of my best videos have me in it, have me on the thumbnail, and some of my worst videos have me on the thumbnail. So
yeah, you have to really dig deep.
Yeah.
And I've dug deep.
The one other thing I don't think you really touched on is words on the thumbnail too much.
Well,
I've heard both. I've heard both ways. You should have words and you shouldn't have words. And so it's kind of, I know you should not have more than just a couple few words.
I have words in mine.
And if you do have words, they should be bold, bright, and very clear to see. You shouldn't have to take a double look to see what it says.
Exactly.
And
exactly.
I know a lot of channels, you actually got to like stop and like focus in on it to actually see what it says, and they have 15 different words on there.
Yeah, and the words that are on your actual thumbnail, they don't need to be your title.
No,
they can be
actually it should not be your title, because
they're something else.
Right.
So, and I'm telling you, having a really good thumbnail can really make or break a video.
Yeah, like
And
as an example of what you just said, on a thumbnail, if you're like finally got something finished, you could put on the words "I did it" in
yeah,
real big bold letters, and then the title is "I finally completed doing something,"
yeah,
or
yeah,
"After 3 years, this is done,"
right.
something like that.
And see, that's the thing. You really want people to. Now, I can tell you right now, there are a couple of there's a few different types of YouTube viewers. There are some who really, and I see you down there, Amy. I see you. I'm not forgetting about you at all. So I'm just going to talk to Bill here for a minute, and then I'll bring you up. Okay. So the thing is you don't. If I see every one of your thumbnails is you pointing with your mouth open and saying it's the worst ever or
Yeah,
et cetera, you can guarantee that I will never sub and watch your stuff.
it
I
gets
won't
old
do it.
after a while.
It gets so old to me after a while, I will not do it. But there are some people who just love that kind of thing. But you know what? I really don't want those viewers,
Yeah,
obviously.
I've heard
So
like the wording on the thumbnail should kind of like catch your eye and intrigue you to read what the title is.
right.
So like I did it. Oh, what did he do? Oh, he finally completed something that he's been working on, or like something like
Right.
that.
Right. Yeah. And that's good. And those are good points. You're going a little deeper than I was going,
Yeah,
but those are good points. And thank you for bringing that up. But like I said, don't make it unless it's working for your channel. Don't make your channel every video you have just solid drama,
no, no,
because it's just un hey, there's Trey at Our Louisiana Life came in. Thanks for coming, Trey. My second act in here. So getting a few new folks in here. And this is in subscriber mode only. So I know everybody out in the chat is subscribed, and thank you for that. But but I'm just trying to help. And I think if we all got together and used our collective minds, we could all end up with a with a with a good, because the thing is if we can come up, if your videos can pay for what you do, like if your videos can pay for your GoPro stuff, if they
right.
can pay for your subscription to your whatever editing software, if you use an editing software that you pay for, if it can pay for, buy your new iMac or whatever that you need, then it's pretty successful at that point. But we want to get it to where it actually can go above and beyond that. And I've heard so many people say that if I could get monetized on YouTube, I could quit my job. Now, this series that I'm going to be doing is to show you what you would have to do in order to make X amount of dollars and feel like you were financially successful enough in order to quit your job. Because it's not just getting monetized and doing a live every once in a while.
That's true.
That won't do it. You have to get thousands upon thousands of views on your videos, and they
Yes,
have to be good views. They can't be, just somebody clicked on it, clicked off of it, and
has to be over that 30-second mark.
it has to be a good view. So that's my goal. I want you to be able to go buy a set of tires whenever you need it, off your YouTube money. Barrel of
Right.
$1,200 fuel for your GTO if you need it, stuff like that. And then, so I know I see a lot of people saying there, I'm a fan. I understand that. But whenever I say we're not a fan channel, we don't put out stuff that people would just simply no matter what, because it's us. We're not that kind of a channel. We're kind of a channel where if we put out something good, people kind of watch it, and you know, that's the kind of channels we got going right now. So, all right. Well, I've got
Okay.
a couple of more
Talk to you
people.
later.
I got a couple more people in the basement right now. I'm going to bring up
Talk to you
Amy.
later.
I'll talk at you later, Bill. Thanks for coming in.
Yep.
All right, Amy, are you ready? All right. Here's Amy at Leonard Mountain Homestead. Hey,
Hello.
Amy.
Hello. Okay, so I was just going to say something really quick. So I used to put in the very beginning of my, when I first started my journey, I put hashtags in every title of the thing, and I stopped doing that. And I've noticed that we're growing a little better and we're getting more views without the hashtags. I don't know if that's just something
What's
about
your
the
SEO
algorithm.
score?
That I don't know. I'll have to look. I haven't
Okay.
looked at that, but
So
yeah,
what you're trying to do is you're trying to get your search engine optimization score up to 100. Having the hashtags in your title isn't necessarily a good thing unless I found in shorts. Hashtags and titles of shorts seem to do
yes.
real good, but on your actual videos that you're doing, try to fill. You see that box where it says to put you can put 500 characters in there, that are tags for your video. Try to
Mhm.
fill that 500. If it's about your new baby goat that you got, it doesn't matter. Put farmstead, homestead, goat herd,
This
et
one?
cetera, et cetera. Yeah, there's a little goat. So you try to fill that completely, 500 characters, and and that will help your SEO score. And what you're trying to get is whenever your video finishes, the next few videos, the few videos later, within the next several, you're in there several times to get your video watched again. Because what will happen is some people will go to sleep. Get this, they'll go to sleep watching your video. It happens. They go to sleep watching your video, and then it goes through all the rest of the videos, and they end up watching 6 more of your videos. So I'm just saying, having the next several that they could go and watch, that'd be, helpful.
And
Hey,
I've
hey,
noticed,
Grumpy.
yep, there's Grumpy.
That's Faith.
And I've noticed that more people are coming over because, like, I'll watch the collaborations that people have on going, like the Pies of March or whatever that they have going.
Yep.
And I've noticed if I leave a comment, like they say, leave a comment in every video, I've noticed that people will come over from that as well.
Yep.
And then they'll start watching,
Yep.
So I'm getting more views on our videos.
Yep.
And so
See,
yeah, I think that's important too.
I don't have much experience with that because I really don't get into collaborations.
Mhm.
I don't think the Gillum Farms channel fits in the cooking and doing things like that kind of realm. So I really don't get into collabs at all. But I know a lot of channels do most everything on collaborations. They do a lot of collaboration stuff. You're kind of froze up. Did you lock up on me? I was going to say you was
I
all.
bet I did.
now you're not.
No.
So yeah, my pie video is doing well. Yes, those collaboration videos. But I want you to think about those videos a little bit, okay? Like the pies of March and stuff like that.
Mhm.
If there is a giveaway with the collaboration, and part of the collaboration for the giveaway is that you make comments on every pie video that is put out there to be considered in the giveaway, you're going to get a lot of comments, and you're going to get a lot of views and stuff like that from that. And those are designed like that on purpose. They're designed this way to get people. The collaboration is not only to get, to show everybody how to make great pies and stuff like that. It's
Right.
also to get people connected with one another.
Yes.
So your folks get connected with Amy's folks, get connected with, whoever else's folks. That's the way those videos work. I don't actually work in those videos myself. I don't. So it's good that you came in and talked about that.
Yeah,
I
that was just
appreciate
an
that.
example. Like, it wasn't just that certain collab. I'm talking about collaborations per se. You know,
Yeah.
you and yeah, I understand like that part what you said. And I think I'll ask you more questions. Are we still getting together on Sunday? That was my question.
As far as I know.
Okay, I will show you my information, and I probably have more questions about YouTube per se when we
Oh
get
yeah.
together. So
Yeah. We're gonna get. We'll collaborate on Sunday.
well, I'm gonna drop
Absolutely.
out and let somebody else come up, and yeah,
All
got
right.
drop you back here. The
I'm gonna
sun's
bring
going down.
I'm gonna
So
bring Tony from Creekside up real quick. All
all
right.
right,
Thanks for coming in, Amy.
bye
Bye.
everyone.
All right. Let's see here. We got Tony from Creekside Chronicles or Creekside Maples. Either one, whichever.
I meant to change it to Creekside Maples for the week. Creekside Chronicles is just the Sunday live, church live, but I think everyone knows that. But first off, thanks, Johnny, for bringing some of these topics, up to be talked about. I think, we all can stand a refresher course in a lot of it, but there's a lot of new people that do not know a lot of what we're talking about here tonight. And so it's very helpful, insightful to them as well. I think if I could say anything to start with, is that people have to understand that just because we get monetized, I think there's this fairy tale almost that it's this mad dash to 4,000 watch hours, 1,000 subs, and then the checks start rolling in. That is so far from the truth. And I guess for us, I mean, we've been at this for quite a few years, and our channel's growing, not fast, but it's growing every day, and we're happy about that. But the truth of it is, it's not a get rich quick scheme. You have to work at it. You have to get the content out there. And for us, this past year has been a slow year for us because of health issues with Joni, my wife, and everything. We all know that. So it does affect it. But I think that people coming into this have to know that once you get that monetization, there's a lot of work that has to be done. There's a lot of views, and I can't stress that enough. Like I said, we love every subscriber. We think everyone's valuable. We think everyone has their place and plays their part. But you got to have views, and if you're not getting views, you're not getting paid. It's that simple.
Right. Yeah, that's the way it is. It's all set up. It's all set up on view, and YouTube isn't stupid.
No.
YouTube has figured out ways of making money.
Yeah.
Many different ways. I mean, like on super chats and super stickers.
Yeah.
I don't know if everybody knows this or not out there. Some of them are new and stuff like that, but YouTube gets a percentage of that money. So if you gave Tony $20 on Creekside Chronicles or something like that, he's only going to see about 11, maybe, $11 of that.
You can be guaranteed that YouTube's going to take 35 to 40% of everything that's put through super chats and stuff like that. Yeah.
He's going to see about that much, and the rest of your money is going to go to YouTube.
Yeah.
And then you've got, they figured out they've figured out ways of making money from not only AdSense, super chats, super stickers, but they've also actually figured out how to make money from content creators as well.
It's the truth, because I'm sorry, John, I didn't mean to cut you off there. But I know Jesse and I've talked about this 100 times. You can have 100 stores, but if you've only got one person driving back and forth those stores, you're not going to make anything. Or you can have one store, but 10,000 people coming into that store and buying stuff, and then you'll make money. And YouTube has figured that out, that you can have, and I'm not I think we all have to show respect for everybody in here. And you know, I'm a growing channel just like everybody else is. Some of us are not monetized yet. Some are at 3,000, 5,000, 9,000, 20,000. You know, but the truth of it is, when it comes to the money part of it, YouTube, Google is who owns YouTube. They're not stupid. So
Yeah.
they're going to watch our channel and they're going to go, okay, who's stopping into that store? Because that's where they're going to pay you if you have a bunch of people coming into your store. And your channel to Google is nothing more than a storefront to see if they can get viewers to stop in to see. That's where they advertise stuff, you know, and that's the way it works. It's just, it's a business. Now for us, we do it for friendship. We do it for community. We do it so our kids can have the memories if they want them. We do it for all kinds of reasons. But never miss the fact that Google doesn't really care about that. No. They care about making money. That's what they're all about. The other thing I wanted to say too is, you know, I think that, you know, we're so quick at well, what works for Johnny. So if it's working for Johnny, then I'm going to do it. If Johnny has a cow, then I'm going to go buy a cow because it always, you know. And if giveaways work for Jesse and Lisa, I'm going to load my table up and have giveaways, you know. If garage works for Joe Blow from Kokomo, then I'm going to go get a. That's not what it's connection. It's personality. It's be yourself. It's who you are, and find, yeah, like Joni said, the tribe that works for you. Because I'm not you, and you're not me. You know, and that's the thing about it. I think people have to be true to themselves to be successful at this. And the last thing, and then I'm out of here. Older videos still make money. Don't give up on those older videos. You know, we've got videos that are a year and a half, 2 years old that are 200,000 and 300,000 views that are still seasonal videos, like our maple syrup videos always get a surge this time of year because it's maple syrup season.
That's right.
Never give up on those old videos. Keep them playing. Change the thumbnail if you want. Change the title if you want. But never lose hope in them. You'd be surprised. The video can sit there for 6 months and never do a thing. And then you look at it overnight, it's got 1,000 views.
Yeah.
And you know, it's just the way it is. So
yeah, I like evergreen videos for that reason. Evergreens will continuously make money.
Yeah.
And if you don't know what an evergreen video is, I can explain it to you. Yes, evergreen videos are the key, says Bill at My Alaska. And I've got one that I just finished up. I've got to get it edited and put out. It is an evergreen, and it'll make money from now on.
Yeah.
Because every year somebody's gonna need to know they won't sub to me on it, because my evergreens are usually on how to fix something on a car.
Yeah.
And so what they'll do is they'll be in it long enough to figure out how to fix something on their car, and then they'll be out of there, and they won't sub, but it'll still get views and it'll still make money, you know, throughout over time.
Sure. And let me say this from the pastor heart of me, and if anyone knows Chronicles, you'll know what that means, is that we need to become better at celebrating each other. That's the truth of it. We just do. We need to. Look, my hat's off to you, Johnny, and what you guys do there. I celebrate you guys. Whatever your success is, that's great to me. It's the same thing with other people. Like I remember, and Jesse and Lisa, please forgive me, but I remember them before they had a channel. And Jesse, Lisa, please, I hope it's okay that I mention this. But we were the first channel they ever subbed for, moderated for, I mean, and all those sort of things. And now it's like they're all grown up, you know, and we are so proud of them for what they do. But I think there's something to be said to look at each one and go, you know what? Let's just celebrate each other, because that's what it's really about. What may work for them may not work for me. What may work for you may not work for me. What may work for us may not work for you guys. But I think on this whole thing, we just need to celebrate each other and, you know, just be good with it. I hope that's okay to say that, Johnny. Now you can kick me out.
Oh, no, that's great, because I can tell you right now that people, that's what this is all about. this is just a help. That's all it is. That's all I wanted to do. I just wanted to help folks. I wanted, because whenever we came into YouTube, we didn't know any of this stuff. We didn't know anything. I was just putting out whatever and, hoping for the best. And I think a lot of people, that's what they do. I think they put out whatever and hope for the best, and they hope that they hit it big. But there's a few tips that if I had gotten a few tips earlier in this YouTube journey, I think I would be a lot farther along in this YouTube journey. And that's what I'm hoping that I can do with everybody here, and plus everybody who comes up on panel and discusses. I'm hoping that what they say helps you along your YouTube journey
for sure
to get to where you end up with not only just having, let's put it this way. A lot of people, they want to make $100 a month. That's the goal. That's where you first start getting paid, is whenever you make $100. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
If you didn't know that, now you do. So once you make $100 in revenue, then AdSense will put that, Google AdSense will put that into your checking account or your bank account, savings account, whatever you've got it set up with.
Mm-hmm.
Whenever you're setting up your account, do not set it up as an LLC or anything like. Set it up as an individual account. So once you get to AdSense, where you can get the money and stuff like that, set it up as not as like a commercial account, but as like an individual account. Just put it under your, name, put it into your personal bank account, et cetera, because there's really a lot of hoops to jump through whenever you get into the LLC side of stuff and everything like that, because then you start having to have a web page. They want you to have a web page. They want you to have, a lot of other things that we don't have to have as content creators.
Right.
So it causes you a lot of problems. So there's a huge tip. 1,000 subs, 4,000 watch hours, or if you get 500 subs, I think it's 3,000 watch hours, and you want to get some super chats, but they got to have some money, a way for the money to go somewhere. Just set it up under an individual. Don't set it up like a business. Set it up like an individual. Yeah. And then you can start getting paid with YouTube.
Yeah.
Otherwise, sole proprietorship, et cetera, et cetera. Don't set it up like a business. That's what I'm getting at. They'll say, do you want to set this up like a business, or do you want to set it up as an individual account? Individual account. That's the way you want to do it.
Yeah, because I know a lot of times, like, we've had a lot of people say, well, hey, we got monetized and we saw income, but we didn't get paid.
Right.
Well, there's two things that'll stop that from happening. One, make sure you get your tax information filed, because they won't pay you a dime until you file the tax forms that you have to have. Right. They will not. Secondly, if you don't carry $100 balance in your AdSense account, they're not going to send you anything less than 100. Mm-hmm. So let's say if let's say February you made 80, and the 21st came by, or whatever date you guys have in the US, that's the 21st here that AdSense comes out, and you didn't get paid, and you're going, where's my $80? It's because that Google does not issue any check less than $100. But now if you made 80 in February and you made 80 in March, now you're going to get $160.
Exactly.
For your next, your next check or payout is the way that works.
Exactly. And thank you for being in here and helping me with this, Tony. Oh, and no. you don't have to leave until you get ready, because I don't have anybody else in the basement right now. If somebody wants to come in, then just throw it. Just say you want to come in out there in the chat. We'll try to get you in here and stuff like that. But for right now, I'm just going to leave it hanging like it is right here. And whenever you get ready to leave, if you want to leave, you can at any time, Tony.
It's all good. I enjoy talking this stuff. I really do.
But I think this is helpful, because we're bantering back and forth right here. Yeah. Because we know what it takes in order to get
Yeah.
X to X to X to X.
Yeah.
So I can tell you, I had my first goal was $100. My first goal was to make $100 a month, and I wanted to do that. So, and I finally reached that goal. It didn't happen all at once. I think my first check was pretty good, and it's only because I had let it sit there for so long before I got my tax information and everything in. And my first check was like $400 or something like that. I got the first time. And then after I started making $100 a few times, I thought I would like to make $300 a month. So I did what it took in order to make $300 a month with the content. I saw what people will watch and what people won't watch, and I started a different channel so I could put some of the other content on the other channel, so I wouldn't put it on the Gillum Farms channel. So I would maybe, and that's the reason why there's Gillum Farms Outdoors and More out there, is because I still like putting out that kind of stuff. I just know it doesn't help my actual channel. So I put it on and if it never gets monetized, so be it. It'll be fine. I don't worry too much about that. But it gives me a place to be, I guess, artistic. It gives me a place to where I make something that I really like and I put it on there. And then if nobody else wants to watch it, I can go watch it every once in a while, and stuff like that. I know it sounds weird, but there are some stuff of my own that I just love to watch. And I can tell you one of them is that little short change video that I did a while back. I can watch that thing on a loop. I love that thing. But anyway,
James Hall mentioned are comments important, and I don't know, but what you think about that, Johnny. But for us, I think any comments, likes, you have to understand it's not whether we like it or not, because we get negatives and positives, but it's what the algorithm likes.
Yes.
Anytime you get comments, anytime you get a like, any activity like that, it shows the algorithm that people are coming to your channel, that they're engaged with your channel.
They're engaged.
And because,
that's right.
Yes. And because you see, your videos will get pushed based on engagement.
Mm-hmm.
If there's little to no engagement on your video, then YouTube, the algorithm is going to go, oh, well, nobody likes eating at that restaurant. We're not even going to bother,
Hey, Jimmy.
But if this algorithm sees that you've got, man, they got 150 comments, or man, there's 200 likes and all kinds of traffic, then the algorithm picks that up, and YouTube's going to start pushing that harder out to the groups of people that they feel would deem that interesting. That's why if you go to your analytics and you look at that where it says, how did they find this? You'll see, well, this percentage was from subscribers, this percentage from shares, this percentage from YouTube. And that means that YouTube, the algorithm has picked up the like and the comments that's happening on that video. And if it's above a certain criteria and threshold, they then will begin to push your video to a much larger base of an audience. So that's why comments and likes are important.
They move your little planet over to a bigger universe.
Yes,
is exactly what they do.
Yes, exactly.
And that's always helped me to know that I'm just like a small planet out there floating in space. And the closer I get to a big, universe, they start picking up my waves from what I'm putting off. It'd be like, television waves or whatever. They're picking it up.
Yeah.
And I want to be as close to one of those big universes as I can be. But sometimes when you put out something else, if it's not like what you've been putting out, it moves you out farther away from your universe.
Yeah.
So remember that whenever you're putting out videos, if you're putting out videos and you find something that works for your channel, and Tony was what he said a while ago was very important. Don't think that you can do exactly what another channel that is doing well is doing, and you take off exactly like they do.
Most times it
It
don't work.
doesn't work that way.
No.
It works. It's what works for you works for you. So yeah, if you see somebody else doing something, don't think you can just go start doing exactly that, and then yours is going to just take off just like theirs, because it no, it won't happen. I mean, you might see a little bit of success or something. You might see a couple more views than you normally get on your own videos and stuff like that, but it doesn't really work. What you got to find is the niche that works for your channel. And I can tell you right now, there's a couple of things that works for Gillum Farms, and I'll continue to do those because I know what works. And if you can find what works in your videos, if you can find what works consistently, and you keep putting out videos like that, you'll be able to do what my goal is. And I can tell you exactly what my goal is. My goal with YouTube, I am 60 years old right now. I do not, the income I make is YouTube and the cattle. Okay. That's my income. So, and sometimes I do a little bit of dozer work for people and stuff like that, but that's my income. So my goal is whenever I turn 62 years of age, when I'm eligible for early Social Security, I want to forgo early Social Security. I want to forgo it. I want to not take my early Social Security. I want to take my other retirements. I have a couple other retirements that will come out at 62. I will take them, but I don't want to take the early Social Security. I want to be able to push Social Security out to the full retirement age of, I think it's 66 and a half or something like that. I want to push it all the way out to the full amount. That way they don't reduce my income based on how much money I make from Google AdSense.
Right.
They will. Social Security will go down if you make too much money. I think it's $13,000 a year. If you make over $13,000 a year, they start docking your Social Security. And I don't want them to dock my Social Security, so I'm just not going to take Social Security. I'll just keep doing video.
You've also got to be able to have the content out there that's going to do that, and that's the truth.
Right.
Like, that's why, like we're just saying, you got to be true to yourself and what works, and find your tribe, and
Right.
find the content, and so I think that those are all good things. I know for us, we had the same goal at first, was to start making that $100 a month. And I was one that got that tax thing messed up and was wondering why I wasn't getting anything for like 6 months. And then when I figured it out, they were very good about it. They paid me all the back pay, and I thought, woo, that's a great check. But then reality hits, because that was a check for 6 months, and then the next one was the check for 1 month. And so it's all good there. But they're asking about lives and the views.
That would be a good one. That would be a good one for Jesse to do.
Yeah.
If Jesse wanted to pop in and talk about lives and stuff like that, because I can tell you that as far as the Gillum Farms channel, lives aren't really money for Gillum Farms.
Yeah.
And a lot of people do lives for watch hours.
Yeah.
They do. I'm just being honest here. They do lives for watch hours. We do lives just because we like talking to people. And that's the only reason we do it.
Yeah, it's a great way to get your watch hours. Lives, because you have a lot more interaction. There's a whole lot more comments. I mean, if you look at lives, some channels, the most attention they get, or most comments, or most likes they get, or views they get, is when they go live. And that's natural, because you draw in more people and you keep them there because you're engaging with them, just like we are tonight, so it's a totally different scenario. However, it adds up to basically the same thing with AdSense or with Google. It's views, and I can't stress that enough. And it's like a worn out record. It's views, it's views, it's views.
Yep.
And yes, there's nothing wrong with building your channel. I think everybody should want to build your channel. I think everybody should be, if they want to grow your channel, it's great to have wonderful, awesome subs. Like I said, we love all of our subs, and I think that has to be a goal. but I think that we also have to design it, and the lives allow that to happen a little more at a greater or grander scale. Is if you're really good at those lives and you're drawing in 50, 60, I know when we done our Tuesday night lives all the time, it was nothing for us. We'd see 60, 75 people in there, and you would have a lot of views and a lot of comments, and that always generated good things when it comes to the algorithm. So I think lives do have a huge part, and they play that big part as well. But then there's people that look at it and go, well, I can't talk in front of a camera, or I can't, and so it takes time to do that.
Right.
I'm going to tell on Jesse and Lisa again, and I love them dearly, and they know that, and they don't mind me saying this. But I remember when we first said, "You guys need to go live." You do, yeah. And I remember both of them, especially Jesse, and we know Jesse is so outgoing. But he said, "I don't know. What would we say? Sitting here talking to a camera seems so weird." And so, but those birthing stages, was so awesome. And then you see it grow to what it is today, which is, in my mind, the #1 live place there is to go, and so it's awesome to see it. But that's their channel, but you guys do great, and everyone else does great. And I think it all has its place, and it all fits in to where we want to take our channels to, really,
Midway Farms, you asked about the people who have ads in their lives. Did they get paid for them? Yeah, they get paid for them.
Yep.
The only thing is ads in the middle of lives or to me are a real turnoff.
Yeah.
If I'm wanting a place to escape something, I will escape it right then. I will escape the live at that moment, because I've missed everything that was said in that however long that was, that ad was going on. I'd have to go back and watch the replay to see what I missed and stuff like that. So I don't recommend ads in the middle. If you'll notice, there's not any ads in this one. You might have saw a little one at the very beginning of it, but there's not any in the middle of it. There's Jesse and Lisa don't have ads throughout their lives. Creekside doesn't have ads throughout their lives. And it's just, yeah, I don't like the lives with ads, right? And that's exactly it. You just don't want to lose. You just don't want to lose people. And we got somebody else in here, and stay there, Tony.
Stay there, Tony.
So, yeah. So, because man, we've had some really good stuff come out of this right here. So I'm gonna pop that banner down there. Everybody, by the way, everybody come to 10 Killer, all right? So it's been flying along the bottom there forever. So let me get that banner off of here. And then that way we're not hiding anything or covering anything up. Jesse, do you want to tell us about lives?
Yeah, they're a hit. Well, let me tell you this. Tony's correct. When we first started live, and I'm the shy and quiet one, so
yeah.
It's hard for me to do a live.
Yeah, me too.
Whatever. Yeah, she's back there going, whatever. But no, when we first started doing lives, we were scared to death. And if you're not doing lives and you're not monetized, you're really cheating yourself out of getting monetized earlier, because watch hours you get a ton of watch hours from doing lives.
Yep.
Especially, now I'm not saying this works for everybody, especially if you do it on the road. And reason why, because you could talk for 4 hours on a road, 5 hours on a road. And I know that you can go in there and you can start crossing on other people's lives, but when you're on the road, you're on the road. It's the road to do it. And people understand that. If I was on the road right now and I was live during Johnny's live, I'm sure he would understand, because we're traveling. We're doing something on the road. We're showing people this and that and whatever. And you get people coming in. You may have 10 at one time, then it goes to 20, and then it goes to 40, and then 50, whatever. That compounded for each hour makes a lot of. When we first got monetized, we got over 1,000 hours in one weekend, because we started our live We started our journey. We went live, and went the whole time we were there, all the way till we got to the meetup. We did a full live at the meetup. We got watch hours and coming back, and we were monetized in no time.
Yeah.
We hit our 1,000 subs and our watch hours at the same time within a couple of weeks. It just worked out that way for us.
Yeah.
Now you said, well, do you make any money off of lives? Well, when we first started, I kept forgetting to monetize because I didn't know you had to do that manually.
Yeah.
You have to actually turn on your monetization.
Yeah, you do.
Hey, Josh.
So, I'll just be transparent. Yes, you can make money off of lives. I average, if we get between 500 and 600 views, we can make between 30 and 60 bucks on a live. But you have to turn it on. You have to turn it on. Sometimes I forget. But if you turn it on during the live, it turns people off.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And because now they're having to wait for a commercial to finish what Johnny just finished saying during this live.
Yeah.
So he'll monetize it as soon as it goes off. He'll go in there and monetize it. So do we. We monetize it as soon as we get off our live.
That's what we do.
And then the replays, and then the ads that play during those replays is what gets you paid. But views is where it's at, and you can make money off of lives as well.
And I think too with the lives, and thank you, Jesse. It's always great information. And again, Johnny, thank you for this platform because it really is great stuff to talk about. But I think with lives, there's a couple of things. First of all, you have to have have a personality, and that doesn't mean everyone's the same, and we're not all going to be, rambunctious or like on Chronicles. Sunday mornings, if anyone's ever been to Chronicles on Sunday mornings, and this isn't a shameless plug here, I'm just saying, my passion for teaching the Bible, that's there. But if you visit Tuesday night when we are live, then we're there to have fun and laugh and talk about things about the homestead and stuff that's going on in Creekside Maples. And I think personality, and everyone has to understand this, personality plays into those lives. You can't sit like a lump of clay and just stare at the screen. You have to have something that gets people there. And, when you're doing those lives, you can't have dead air. That is so important. You just can't stare at the screen or at each other and wonder who's going to say something, No
awkward silence during a live.
Exactly. And I would say this to folks that want to do your first lives. If you're like, I'm a talker. I love to talk. I've made my living talking as a preacher and pastor and all that. And so words, they come easy for me. My wife says you could talk to anybody about anything, anywhere, any time of the day. And Jesse's the same way, and Johnny, you do good too. I know you don't think you are, but you do well too. You just say it slower than we do. But
yeah.
But the personality there, if you're going to do a live, then, and if you think you're going to struggle, then write out some things, lay it in front of you so that you can follow that. And then if, and I know Jesse, you'll laugh at me at this and we tease each other, but if don't try to do a 2-hour live if you've never done a 15-minute live. A lot of ways to break into lives is do it just a pop-up live. Stay on for 15, 20 minutes. Show people what you're doing, what you're building, what you're cleaning, what you're picking, what you're planting, and then say goodbye. And that can help learn how to do those lives. So anyway.
I'm going to go back up here, and I see Mickey has put this up, and I'm going to throw it up here. It says, I get ads on my videos. Long way from monetization, low watch hours, but still see ads on them, and it's done it with question marks. Okay, this goes back to Mickey. YouTube is about making money. They can make money off of your content whenever you're not monetized.
When you're not making money, they still are.
They still are. If they'll throw some ads on it and they'll get paid.
So like Johnny, you mentioned it earlier in your live, and I don't know. I mean, during this live, you mentioned it earlier. I don't know if they caught it, but Google AdSense or Google itself owns YouTube,
right?
And if you think about it, it's a business for them, and you're playing in their sandbox. Okay, Now there's a YouTube partnership program that you can join, which is getting monetized. That's, they call it the YouTube partnership program. All right. But until you've signed the dotted line to become a YouTube partner, it means you're partnering with YouTube to get a certain percentage. They get a certain percentage, you get a certain. Until then, you're playing for free in their sandbox.
Yep.
Until you sign on the dotted line saying, I want to be a partner, okay, and I get so much, you get so much on the ads, and then you can go in there and adjust your ads. You can say how many you want or don't want or whatever, or you can monetize the video or not monetize the video. Until then, it's all theirs. You're playing in their sandbox. They can do whatever they want. I mean, you can complain all you want about, well, they're making money off my videos. Well, you're playing in their sandbox, using their platform, and you're not paying for it.
Right.
Okay. You're doing it. They're letting you do it for free. So you can get all bent out of shape all you want. It doesn't matter. It's their sandbox.
That's it.
Right. Now, after you reach the goal of 1,000 subscribers and 4,000 watch hours, now it's a different game. Now you've signed the line. They've agreed to pay you so much, and you've agreed to do whatever it takes to get paid. Now it's a partnership. That's why they call it a YouTube partnership. So remember that until you get monetized, it's their platform. They can put ads wherever they can add every single one of your videos, and you got nothing to say about it.
Yeah.
Right.
And I know this. They're not. I hear a lot of people. Oh, YouTube took my money, and AdSense took this, and AdSense. No, they're not. Look, they don't do that stuff.
No.
Look, I have talked to them personally numerous times. They have been very good at walking me through and helping me understand when we first get started how everything had to be. And honestly, if your check didn't arrive, then there's generally a glitch in it somewheres. And it's not because they looked at you and thought, oh boy, Joe Blow from Kokomo, we got to quash his channel because, that's 99.9% of the time. That's not it. It's just that you are in their sandbox and they made the rules. That's just the way it is.
Yeah.
Oh, and if you're not getting paid, I tell you, there's somebody I know that's in our community that's not getting paid. And it's because his paperwork is wrong or something was done erroneously and it has to be fixed. Yeah. If you don't complete your paperwork, and they send out emails religiously to let you know where you stand in the process of getting money. This is after you reach your goals, right? One in 4,000. Okay. You get religious emails from YouTube. And if you're not watching that, or if it's going to your spam folder or whatever, if you forget a piece, they kind of walk you through it just about.
And they send you a PIN number. You guys got your PIN number. Johnny, was it you guys that you couldn't get your PIN number at first? You lost it or something? Somebody was telling me.
I had a PIN number. They do a weird thing. Let's talk about this for a minute. They do a weird thing whenever you're getting monetized, where they will actually ask you for your bank account routing number. Okay, a lot of people get turned off right there. They go, oh no, I don't want them to have my. Well, just remember this. Basically, it's like an employer.
Yes.
Okay, it's basically like an employer at this point. So what you're doing, you're in a partnership. You want them to send you money. They're not going to send you a paper check. It's just not going to happen. You're not going to get one. So you have to have a bank account. Okay, that's one thing. They're going to send you an email, and this email, actually, they're going to mail you. It's not an email. They're going to mail you a letter in the mail that says that they deposit a certain amount of money in your account. How much was that? Mm-hmm. And
it's a test.
Be, just a few cents. It might be 3 cents, or it might be, something like that. So then you tell them how much that they deposited into your account, and then they know that that's a good account at that point.
It's a validation. It's a validation test.
Yeah, it's a validation test. Exactly. So that's one thing. So you've got to, and Jesse is exactly right. You have to cross your T's and dot your I's. And I didn't do that whenever this happened. Jesse actually helped me to get my monetization. I had money in there for months.
Yeah, you had like 4 to 6 months worth of money that was going to go back to YouTube if he didn't finish his paperwork.
Right. So I had money in there. And so but the other thing is
And I didn't get a single commission. Not one red cent, folks. I'm letting you know that right now.
Never
So
get it done.
if you're gonna do something with Johnny, you better get it in writing.
Now,
You
did get a hat.
I didn't.
but you've actually got to do all the little things. Don't be scared of YouTube asking for your bank account routing number. Don't be afraid of that, because just like I said, whenever you get a job somewhere, they do the same thing, and that's basically what this is. They're not taking your stuff and going, hey, we're going to go wipe out them. Google is so huge, they don't need your money.
No.
I mean, they don't need whatever is in your bank account. I'm just telling you, there is, it's kind of like all these other things where they say, oh, they're only doing this so they can get access to our account. And I'm not going to go super political, but you know where I'm going with that. No, those folks don't need your money. They're trying to help.
And trust me, I'm not pointing anybody out here. I'm not. But those same people that are complaining about YouTube or Google asking for your information are the same people that are purchasing stuff off of Temu.
Oh my goodness. Temu.
I'm just saying. Okay. Temu. And if you go buy from Temu, you're giving up your information.
Yeah.
And it's not our government.
You see the ad on Temu for something, and you look at it and you go, hey, that's really nice. And whenever you get it, it's actually about a third the size of the picture that. That's a tiny thing.
It's crazy.
I've never bought anything off Temu, but I've watched enough of Derek Fowler's videos to know that stuff is always way smaller than it.
Our daughter Chelsea, she bought when Temu first came out. She thought it was great, and so she sent for this stuff, and then it came. It's like, what is this?
Like the kitty.
It's like, remember that
you thought you ordered.
Remember, it was like that program a while back. It was called Wish. You order some Wish stuff, and it looks beautiful. And when you get it, it's like half the size, or it looked real big, and it come out about this big.
Yeah, you see that one where the guy said he ordered a 4-season camping tent from off Temu, and so he's standing there, and then he looks down. The tent's this big. He can't even get his whole foot in the door. Eh?
Right.
Yeah.
Well, it's like this. I ordered this off of an auction, local auction, and the picture was beautiful, big. I thought it was going to be a solid copper pot. Look what it was. That's the pot.
The ladle.
You can see how it ain't even enough to put barbecue sauce. But when you in the picture, it was like this. So it looks really big. But when you got it, big print giveth, little print taketh away. And I didn't read everything. And look what I got. $2. $2 for this little thing right here.
That's exactly right. The big print giveth, the little print taketh
away.
Exactly.
Try
exactly.
Get Lisa to cook your supper and that.
Guys, this is going to be a kind of a continuing thing. I think I'll do it again, probably maybe on a Chilling with the Gillums night or something like that. But there's more, and people need to think about the questions that you have. If you have more questions, then please bring it up. But like I said, you can get to a point in the YouTube. You can get to a point where it is lucrative. We're getting to the point where it's, if I need tires, I just go get tires. If I need, having the ability, if your refrigerator goes out, you can kind of go buy a new refrigerator. And this is all based on videos that we put out and the money that has come in from AdSense and stuff like that. So that's where you actually want to get. I know there was a lot of, whenever I was leading up to this, I was on Trey's channel one night, and there was somebody that was just adamant that they absolutely never wanted to make a dime off of YouTube. And that is fine. If you don't want to make a dime off YouTube, there's about 1 billion ways to not make a dime on YouTube. There's all kinds of ways to not make a single penny from YouTube, and you're more than welcome to do all of them. and stuff like that. But if you would like to be able to just have some extra spending money, have some, you know, be able to get the things that you, maybe you want a new GoPro or something like that. Wouldn't it be nice to be able to do that? How many years have I been doing this? I had a YouTube channel. It's been several years when I started it. And whenever I started the YouTube channel, it was only to put out like just a video that I wanted a couple of people to see. And it was people that I just sent the link straight to them, kind of like on their phone, just watch this. It wasn't, and they didn't get viewed by hardly anybody. I mean, they were like, you know, maybe 5 people throughout the lifetime of the video that ever even saw it or anything like that. So it was that was the start of it. Whenever I actually started doing YouTube to try to actually do something with YouTube was 2022. It's 2025 now. Okay. I got in late. I should have gotten in by 2019, so I could have rode that wave of COVID. If I could have rode the COVID wave, you know, because that's where channels really blew up. Right. Channels really blew up during that. Everybody's at home, nobody's working, they can't afford to watch, you know, like they had to cancel their cable TV because they Netflix save money. So they have their phones, they have a YouTube app, so they're just sitting there watching YouTube videos. 2019 to 2022 were key years. They really were.
I think
and we missed all of it.
I think statistically, I read somewheres that over COVID, there was more than 1 million new channels that came up on YouTube.
Yep. Yeah, it was a huge growing time, but we missed all of it.
Yeah.
So we started in 2022 after all the stuff. Whenever I went to the Mid-America YouTube meetup, the very first Mid-America YouTube meetup, it was at Tenkiller. It was in 2022 when we went, and we had 450 subscribers or something, but on watch hours, we had like 16,000 watch hours. And it's because people would watch the videos. I had good views. I just didn't get a lot of subs from, you know, that stuff.
Mm-hmm.
So once we got to 1,000, we were immediately eligible for money. I mean, immediately, because we already had enough views and stuff like that for them to go back on to where we could get paid. But like I said, I waited a few months after we were eligible because I didn't understand all the steps. Jesse actually helped me through all the steps because he had already gone through it, and we got monetized and we got paid pretty decent. Like I said, we started out wanting $100. That was our first goal. Let's get $100 a month. Let's make $100 a month. And our second goal was $300 a month. Now I can tell you what our goal is. Our goal is right now it's $1,500 a month. I want to make $1,500 every month on YouTube.
Yeah.
And it's working. So my next goal is I want to make $2,000 a month on YouTube, you know, and I'm going to keep doing whatever I have to do as far as this works in order to get to that. And you can see how if you have the drive and you have the gumption and you have the want to, and you put out consistent, make sure you consistently put out content. I mean, every week, if at all possible, you're putting out something for somebody every week. Keep putting out a consistency, and then you can get to that point. But there's one other thing I wanted to say. You need to, how am I going to say this? You need to, yeah. You need to.
I know what he's going to say.
No, you don't know what I'm going to say.
I do know what you're going to say. Go ahead.
You need to watch your own video before you put it out many times. before you put it out. And
Are you
every
talking about
time
I
you
need to edit my videos?
yes. And every time you watch your video, make it shorter than it was before.
Cut, and cut some more.
Cut, and cut some more. Because if you watch your own video and you find any spot in there where you yourself might doze just a little bit, cut it.
Yeah, I
Make
cut
it,
mine. I don't
cut
know
it,
how many times.
cut it. I don't care if it's you thought it was the best thing ever when you were videoing it yourself and then you watch it on playback.
Yeah.
And it loses you just slightly right there. Kill that. Cut it out.
If you're struggling with watching it, everyone else is really going to struggle watching it. I mean, that truth.
I watch my videos like before I put them out. Now, don't get me wrong. After it's out, do I watch it? I don't. A lot of times I don't watch it.
Yeah.
I'm serious. A lot of times I don't watch it once it's on YouTube because I have watched it 10 times before I put it on YouTube. And every single time it gets shorter. It gets shorter, it gets shorter, it gets shorter. And then finally you get to a point where you're happy enough with it to put it out and then schedule it. And whenever I put a video out, now people have different results and it depends upon their analytics and their crowd and stuff like that. But when I put a video out, I put it out for a time whenever I think people will have time to watch it.
Yeah. Well, you can
Now,
see that's where your analytics comes in, Johnny, because you can, again, go back to your analytics. It will tell you when your video is being viewed the most, and then that's when you want to release it, because the people that watch your auction video or your video on your cows, they may be watching that at 5 p.m, but people may be watching me cut the top out of a tree at 7 a.m. So,
right.
And then they may be watching, Lisa cook Jesse another breakfast pie or something at, or making cream or something like that for Jesse. You know that.
Making bacon.
It's all different times. And
Yeah.
you have to look at your analytics and see what your channel analytics are. Because just because it works at 7 a.m. for me and 2 p.m. for Johnny and 5 p.m. for Jesse and Lisa, it doesn't mean it's going to work that way for you.
Right.
Well,
your trend is your analytics.
But you got to remember, Tony, that those analytics, they're pretty accurate. Okay. Yeah. Now, what I will say is analytics, they're mainly a suggestion. And why? Let me tell you why I say that. It's because we have seen that our crowd, the people that watch my videos, watch between, let's say, 5 p.m. and 8 p.m.
Right.
Because that's prime time, right? Everybody's watching it that they get off of work or whatever, watch it. But I've put out videos between 5 and 8 and didn't do as good as the ones I would put out at 5:30 in the morning. And let me tell you what I found between that. The difference is that when I put a video out at 5:30 in the morning, I'm catching the crowd from overseas. The UK crowd, they're up at night, so they're watching I'm getting views from there, and then I get all the daylight crowd, and then the evening crowd comes in the season. So I'm kind of picking up a little bit of everybody at that time. But I'm not saying that YouTube is wrong. I'm just saying we found good luck putting it up at 5:30 in the morning.
And my 8 o'clock in the morning is your 6 o'clock.
Exactly. I put it up at 5:30. You already had coffee.
Exactly. So, because I catch like your notification when you release a new video, I always get it at 7 in the morning, whatever. And it just wakes me up. What a nightmare that. No, I'm just kidding. But it just wakes me up and I watch it because it's 7 here, but it's 5 there. It's just a big difference. And so you have to understand all of those things in your analytics. And I think that keeping that in the back of your head, you're right. It's a suggestion, try it this way, because I know for me, there's shorts that I can put out at certain times, and within the first 6 hours, they'll have 1,000, 1,500 views. But then I've put videos out, shorts, whatever, and change the time, and I'll go to bed with, and it'll have 200 views, but then I'll wake up in the morning and it's got 1,700 views. So it's just all relative, you know. It really truly is.
So what Brian is saying here, that's the focal point of what Gillum Farms does. I put out videos right before what I would call peak time. And the reason I do that is because I don't want my video to sit there in the suggested videos long enough to drop off before somebody actually has time to watch the video.
Yeah.
And they will. If you don't, like some of the channels that I've got all my guilty pleasure channels, and they will even drop out of my feed if I don't watch them in a certain amount of time. If I put Gillum, and I've done this, if I put Gillum Farms videos out at 7 in the morning, I don't have a big overseas crowd. I don't have any overseas crowd, really. I really don't. I don't have a big following of folks who, from other places. Most everybody that watches my stuff's right here in the USA. And, in Canada, there's some Canadians that watch it and stuff like that. But as far as my analytics show, that's what they're showing me. So what I do is I put it out, my videos, my main video of the week is going to come out about 3 o'clock on Friday, 3 to 4. I'm going to put it out between 3 and 4 o'clock. It's going to come out at a time whenever people are getting off work Friday for the weekend, et cetera, et cetera. If they don't have time to watch it Friday night, they'll watch it Saturday, they'll watch it Sunday. If I put out my video, my what I call my peak video for the week, which I'm trying to put out 2 videos a week, and I'm trying to put out one I call my peak video and one that I call my non-peak. My non-peak is going to be something that, if we had fans, if Gillum Farms had fans, my non-peak video is for the fans. It's going to be the one I'm going to put out Tuesday or Wednesday, afternoon. And it's just going to be something that they can watch and see how we're doing, see what's going on the farm, something like that. But then one that I really expect to go, I'm going to put out on Friday. And typically they'll go if I put them out at that on those more peak times. And that's just what Gillum Farms does. That's not what Jesse and them do, and that's not what Tony does. And this goes back to just because it works for them means it's going to work for me.
Exactly. Because I know for us, so we have a lot of stuff on our channel. Being an arborist, there's a lot of things to do with cutting trees and stuff. And I get a lot of views in the US, but I get a whole lot of views from Germany because, they do a lot of forestry stuff in Germany. And so that YouTube knows it, the algorithm knows it. And so they push it. And 50% of my videos will be viewed from people in Europe because logging, arborist work is huge there. However, building the cabin off-grid cabin here and again, this is on I know it says Creekside Chronicles on there. I forget to change it, but that's Creekside Maples, our other channel. On that channel, you'll see a lot of the cabin build. You'll see us doing things here on the homestead and stuff like that. And those views are mostly from the US viewers because, again, that's where we lived for so long. We raised our kids there. And even though now we're in Canada, still all of our viewers are there. Everything we do is affected by what our content is. And so you have to tap into that. You have to know that. But it's also affected by time zones because if, Chronicles on Sunday morning, it's usually what time is it there, Jesse, at 8:30 your time?
Yeah.
But in Oregon, it's 5:30, I believe,
Yep.
And so
it's early.
Yeah, so all of those things you have to, I know I do. I think about all those things when I'm putting a video out. What is the content? What is the audience this is going to go to? Typically, if I look at my algorithm and then release it based on that information, is what I try to do.
And I wanted to say, what Johnny said was so true. I mean, he puts them out on Fridays because think about his content. Think about whether he's putting out a car video, or maybe something to do with the ranch or the farm. You know, those guys that are watching that are going to be available to do that in the afternoon or whatever. But think about, let's say you put out a video on a cooking video, like a pie video, whatever. What audience are you catering to? You're catering to the ladies that are staying at home. And when are they home? During the day. Exactly. So I do better at putting a video out during the day on a cooking video for Lisa than I do if I put it at 7 or 8 o'clock at night. Those ladies are not. They're not. They're done. So you got to, like Tony said, what audience are you trying to attract?
Yeah. The other thing, and I want to bring this up real quick, is my videos are typically long, and whenever it's nothing for me to do a 40-45 minute video. People don't have time to watch that a lot of times during the day. They have to totally be down for the evening. They'll have had supper, they'll sit back, and then that's whenever they'll start watching their long channel videos, I guess you'd call it. So I try to put them out late in the evening. What's 3 o'clock here is 4 o'clock over where Ginger and Joey are, and over on the East Coast it's 5 o'clock. So I'm hitting the East Coast folks because, like I said, I get maybe Paul Honeyman from Europe.
Yeah, well,
that's about it. So almost everybody I get is going to be U.S. and Canada all the way across. Yeah. So I'm catching the 5 o'clock crowd over on the East Coast, and I'm catching the 6. It just works its way across as we go across the country. Now I got to ask, I was going to throw that one up there. Rivers and Roots, what is y'all's opinion about shorts? Shorts.
I'm wearing a pair right now myself.
Can get you subscribers, and shorts can make money.
Yeah.
And shorts can also give you watch hours. Believe it or not, I have single shorts that have given me over 4,000 watch hours. Yep. So you can get money, watch hours, and subscribers all from shorts. And a lot of people wonder why the Gillum Farms channel went from like 3,000 or 4,000 subscribers to 20,000 subscribers. How did that happen? I can tell you how it happened. It went from shorts. I had like 3 viral shorts in a row, just like that. And those 3 viral shorts gave thousands upon thousands of subscribers. That one was,
they do
9,000 subscribers or something like that. And then we got, so that's how the Gillum Farms channel grew as far as subscribers goes.
Yeah.
Then once we got that, I noticed that I had a lot of subscribers, but I didn't actually have it didn't equate to a lot of views on long form stuff. I could put out a cattle short and I'd get a ton of views on the cattle short and stuff like that. But the long form stuff didn't really take off until I found a niche for long form stuff.
Yeah.
Once I found a niche for long form stuff, now long forms are actually way outpacing shorts as far as views go. Yeah. And that was my actual goal, to get to a point to where my long stuff could actually do as well as my short stuff does.
Because I know shorts,
you're right, getting into millions of views yet, but remember this word, yet.
Yeah. Well, I know, we have some shorts on our channel, that are got really awesome views that have gotten me 700-800. I'm thinking of one video right now. It's got me over 800 subs, and the video is about 20 seconds long. It's what works really, and so, you can use what you need to use to get there, but again, never lose sight of the views. But there's something you touched on, Johnny, if you don't mind. I'd like to go back to it for a second, if that's okay. Something you said about time, like consistency, and that is the truth. one of the biggest things they teach you when you go onto these YouTube courses and stuff is the importance of consistency. Know when you're going to release it, keep that, release at the same time, all of that. And first off, I'll say this. I agree with that. There's some merit to that. But if you're a guy like me or like us, when we get busy through the season, we get busy. Like finding the time to edit and finding the time to do all this stuff, it gets difficult sometimes. And so you can't put out a lot of content. But if you can just put out something, and I think, Jesse, you've said that to me 1,000 times, just put something out there to the best of your ability to at least stay in that framework of something, if you can't put out 2 videos, I would rather put out 1 really good short a week than try to put out 3 longer videos that aren't so great.
Yep.
And I think you have to look at all that, and you have to find what works for you.
Right.
That's what you've got to do.
Yeah, the bottom line is whatever works for your channel, because we're all I want everybody to know this right now. We're not in a competition.
No.
There's no competition here. Remember that. Nobody's competing. None of us compete or anything. And I want every single channel out there in this chat. I want every one of you to grow in views,
be
and
successful,
to actually be able to see the bounty of your hard work that you put into it, to actually see it come back to you. That's what my goal is. My goal is I'd love to see every one of you with, all your long form videos getting 25,000 views. I would love to see that, or more.
Yeah.
I would love to see it. And it wouldn't hurt my feelers at all if everybody out there had that going on. None.
Yeah.
So, and that's what we're trying to do. We're just trying to help, because it seems like, I don't know if people just like held this in, or just didn't really want to tell anybody about what they learned or anything like that. But you just don't really see it. You see it sometimes, but it's on channels who actually build their channel on this type of thing, what we're talking about right now. Their whole channel is built on, you can do this. I made how much money? I remember seeing a video one time that said, how much money do I make when I get 1,000 subscribers?
Mm-hmm.
How much money do I make when I get 1,000 subscribers? That's what the name of the video was. And I'm like, you get no money for just having 1,000 subscribers. Now let's talk about your views. So once we get your views and your watch hours and all that, once everything lines up, then that's whenever you start making money. But I've seen one says, how much money did I make at 10,000 subscribers and stuff like that? Well, none. Again, you're back to the same thing. You got to remember, subscribers doesn't equate to money. The only time subscribers equates to money is whenever like big companies are looking at channels. They want X number of subscribers on the channel because they can do it. And I'm getting beyond what I want to even talk about tonight, but they want to get to where they send you, you actually do paid promos in the middle of their video. So what they're doing is they're wanting to pay you, for basically you're going around YouTube. You're getting paid by the company itself because you're running an ad inside of your video for them. Like your AG1 is a good one. That green drink that people do. I see it all the time on different ones. AG1's a big, huge sponsor. They'll pay all these channels to have somebody drink some of that nasty green stuff in the middle of the video. They'll take a minute or minute and a half out of the video, and they'll just right in the middle of it, they'll just, this is going to give me all the energy I need to have to finish doing what I'm doing here in this video, et cetera, et cetera. And then they do it. But that's kind of beyond what I'm talking about right now. Right now, I'm talking about, let's just get you guys to getting paid, and then we'll get you guys to getting a little, your goal, whatever your goal is, if it's $100 a month, 300 a month, et cetera, et cetera. And then you work yourself up to,
So
it's the long game. I'm telling you, it's the long game is YouTube.
Well, I think everybody here in your chat is, either some of them are monetized, some of them aren't. But I think the end game is everybody here wants to make money. There's very few people. There are a few, but there's very few people who don't want to make money, right?
Right.
I think you would agree with that. Okay. Now, if you're in it to make money, obviously there's a program called the YouTube Partnership Program, and you have certain criteria you have to meet in order to get in the program. Once you've met that criteria, which is going to be 4,000 watch hours and 1,000 subscribers, then you can apply. And it's not right when you hit 1,000, folks. You have to hold it for a couple. You got to have 1,000 for a little bit. Anyway, they'll send you the paperwork. They ain't gonna send it to you the next day. They're gonna see that it didn't drop off or whatever, right?
Yeah.
So you need a cushion, 1,010, 1,020, 1,100, whatever. You need a little cushion. But once you get your YouTube partnership program in place, now guess what? You don't just sit back on your laurels. You gotta put out videos and you gotta create content.
The real work begins.
Why? Because YouTube is a business, like we said earlier. YouTube is a business, and what does a business want to do? They want to advertise their business.
Yeah.
And how do they advertise their business? They advertise it through your videos or your shorts by way of ads.
Yep.
That's why they call it AdSense. They're going to try and put ads wherever they can, because if Johnny's putting on a GTO video, you think they're going to put a baking ad on there? No, they're going to put something that those GTO folks are out there. They're going to go watch either more videos about GTOs or make some money off of some other product that's associated with automobiles. So they're going to drive ads to those folks that are watching GTO videos and to try to make money, because that's how they survive. That's how Johnny's getting paid. That's how Tony's getting paid. That's how it's off of ads. Okay. So subscribers are very important when it comes to getting monetized. Now, after you get monetized, okay, subscribers are very important. They're still very important because they drive views. They help you get views. So the more subscribers you get, the more views you're going to get. But that's not what pays you.
The more views you get, the more subscribers you get.
Exactly. The more views, like Lacey was talking about a while ago about shorts. Shorts drive people to your channel to help you not only watch more shorts, but they watch some of your long videos too. There are people that only watch shorts and there's some that only watch long. But the key is you gotta get views, because the views is what's going to put that money in your pocket. I'm telling you.
Yeah. Again, because you can have, and I think we've said this already, you can have 100,000, 200,000 subscribers and love every one of them. And we all do. We all appreciate every single one. We do.
We do.
But we also have to be cognizant of the importance that views plays into what we want to do as well. And there's a place to respect the entire spectrum of all that we do here. But again, you're right. You're both right. And we have to understand that views, that's where your income's going to come from. And can I give an example? As I said before, our channel, it's slowed down this year, and those of you that are closest to us know why, because we've struggled with a lot of health issues with Joni this past year, and we have spent all of my focus has been on her, getting her healthy, getting her better, and honestly, YouTube was not the priority, and I, without hesitation, there was never a struggle there. It was, this is my wife, she comes first, But what we have seen is that because videos the views have grown so much, that even without putting out a lot of content, we're still making money every month, even though we're not publishing a lot of content right now, because the views,
Yeah, your legacy videos are still getting views.
exactly.
Yeah.
And so that is a testimony of how important views are. If getting another 100 subs meant $100, wouldn't that be wonderful? But it
Yeah,
does,
exactly.
you know.
Exactly.
And I'm gonna tell you that whether you're doing shorts, whether you're doing long videos, or you're just doing lives, even lives pay.
Yeah,
I can attest for that.
they
I can
do.
attest to that.
They do.
But-
You know.
But the thing is, you got to put the stuff out. Now, you know, there's some people like Johnny. He'll put out 2-3 videos a week, but that works for him.
Yeah.
It may not work for you, but remember, you don't have to do what Johnny's doing. Okay, and Johnny doesn't have to do what you're doing.
Just make sure.
Do what makes you happy.
I just want to say one thing though. YouTube loves consistency.
They do.
It really does. It really does.
They want to
And
see the
if
store,
you want to take,
store open every day.
and if you decide you're going to take a 6-month hiatus from YouTube, get ready to totally rebuild it.
Right, but what I was trying to say, Johnny, is you may be able to put out 3 videos a week, and somebody may not be able to do that. But if you do 1 video a week or 1 a month, just make sure it's consistent. You know,
Consistency.
because it may not work for you.
Yeah,
Because
I know for us, we did slow down. It hurt our channel. I'm not going to tell you it didn't. It did, because of what we had to do here to look after everything. But I don't regret 1 minute of changing my focus to her health rather than you. I don't. There's not a part of me that regrets that. But what we did do is, and we had this conversation way back when, Jesse, when we were talking one time. And one of the things Jesse had said was, I know you guys can't put this and this and this and this out, but if you can just put something out, whether it's 1 live a month or 1 video a month or 1 short every 2 weeks, that still keeps your presence active within the algorithm. And it may not push, you know, as much as before, but at least you don't have to start from scratch again. And so we've noticed that. And so when we're starting to come back a little better, but I'm focusing still on shorts, but those shorts are getting us, you know, anywhere from 1,000 to, you know, 20, 30, 40,000 views. So I'm okay with that right now, you know, at least. And you have to do what you have to do. YouTube can be part of your life, but it can't be your life unless you're going to make it your total focus and run it that way. If you've got time for that, and there's nothing wrong with that. But I know for us, we can't because of everything that we have going on.
Yeah.
And you have to find what works for you.
And yeah, and I just want to point this out right here. First off, Midway Farms, congratulations. You have 1,997 subscribers. If you have 4,000 watch hours, then you are monetized.
Mm-hmm.
Having more
You can apply to be monetized.
subscribers is not going to make the money be more. So you've got a good number of subscribers there. That's a good number. Get views on your videos. Remember, watch your video over and over and over before you put it out. If you find yourself ever snoozing at any point in your own video, kill it. Kill that part. Cut it. Do so, move something else. I'll tell you something else that I will do. Shorts. If I put out a short and it doesn't get 1,000 views in one day, and that's a really just a mild number for a short, 1,000 views. If it doesn't get 1,000 views in a day, you notice it'll leave the Gillum Farms channel. I will get rid of it. I will take it down. I don't want whenever somebody that goes into my shorts feed, because they'll go there's people that'll go into your shorts feed. I want them to see consistently across the deal, man, this guy's got 2,500, 4,500, 3,700, 52,000, 2.6 million, et cetera, views on the shorts all the way across the line. I don't want it to look like he's got 44 views. He's got 37 views. He's got 59 views. He's got 6,000 views. He's got, 120 views. I don't want my shorts feed to look like that. So I will kill a short like I said, if it doesn't make in 8 hours, if it doesn't make 1,000 views, it goes away.
Yeah.
And and a lot of times the short will come back. It'll be named slightly different. It might be 2 seconds shorter than it was. It'll come back, but I'll put it back out until it gets the numbers that I want on it.
Yeah.
I have killed long form videos because they were so bad as far as what the YouTube audience wanted. I have killed a couple of long form videos, and I haven't put them back out.
Yeah.
So I'm just saying, if it's what you want to do, if you want to, and that's just what I do for my channel. I'm not saying that Jesse and them need to do that, or Tony or anybody, but for this channel, I will go to, I've had a lot of people say, well, that short had 900 views. You just threw them out the window. And I go, yeah. And
yeah, but see, it's Johnny's channel. He can do whatever he wants, and those are his goals. Okay, your goals may be different. If he says he wants to at 1,000, if I don't get 1,000, I'm going to cut. And another thing, here's another thing I want to say. Johnny says he cuts it. Don't delete your video. You can just unpublish it. Don't delete your videos.
Private it.
Make it private, because you may want to bring it back maybe 6 months down the road. You say, I got a video. I'm going to bring that back up, see what happens. Maybe change the title, change the thumbnail, bring it back out. And it may go gangbusters.
Well, that's what
don't delete your videos.
Yeah.
That's what I do. I do delete my videos, but what I do is I just change them around, because shorts are so easy to put back on. I change them around. I go, well, maybe it's the time that I put it out. I change the title slightly. I change the amount of time on it slightly. I move it the time that I put it out. And usually my shorts that only, did like, say 500 views, the first one will take off and do 2,500, 3,000, 4,500 views. The next time I put it out, it's basically the same thing. It's just, I did something a little different. I moved it somewhere else and stuff like that. And Tony, that doesn't really kill you. You just have to be, what's the word I want to use? You have to be, intentional.
Yeah. Well, I
you
think
have to be very intentional with what you're trying to do with it.
Yeah, and you have to have the margin there to do that too, Johnny. I want to stress that because you have a lot of views, you can pick and choose some of that. But if you're a small channel and you're not even monetized yet, you always have to remember, and I looked this up and I found this out years ago, is that let's say you need 4,000 watch hours, okay? And you're at 3,900 and you've got a video there that's got 300 views, and you look at that and go, well, that's underperforming, I'm going to remove that. You now need more than 100 views or whatever. That's deducted back off of your 4,000. So be careful that if you're going to do that, make sure first you have
a buffer.
You've got to have that banked views number to do that, because if you don't, it can affect. You may wake up and go, holy crap, I was 100 away from 4,000 and now we're 600 away. What happened? Well, what happened is you got rid of those views.
Yeah.
Well, so when we first started, Johnny, Tony remembers this because he helped me with it. We put out a video when we bought an RV.
Yeah.
And it did, a couple 50 views, 60 views, didn't do nothing. He said, let's change the thumbnail, and we changed the title. It went to 11,000.
Yep.
I didn't delete the video, but I changed the title and I changed the thumbnail, and it went from 50 views to 11,000.
Yep.
You can do the same thing with your videos. Once you use your YouTube Studio, you can change a video daily if you want to. I mean, the title and the thumbnail. Yep. I'm not saying you need to, but you can do that. And sometimes it'll give you a jump, sometimes it won't. Yeah. But it ain't going to hurt nothing to try.
Okay, so Midway Farms, he has clarified. I guess he had typed earlier a little bit of a
typo.
typo. He put 1997, but it's actually he's got 400 subscribers. So what I would recommend in that situation, Midway Farms, is I would recommend shorts, and I would just go with shorts. And I'm going to tell you right now, make sure your shorts are short. 15 seconds is a pretty long short nowadays, and that's 15 seconds is like pretty much what I shoot for. I shoot for a 15-second short. Make sure that you use that ability to pick your thumbnail. Don't let YouTube pick your thumbnail for you. Use the ability that you have in there to go screen by screen to get to exactly the right part of the short for the thumbnail. A lot of people don't realize you can do that. You can actually go in there and set your exact thumbnail, but you have one shot at it.
Yep.
You have to do it before you publish your short. You can't go back in and publish your short and then think you can go edit it and make it a different different scene. It won't be a different scene.
Or you can
You
build
let it pick it. It's liable to be like for me, it would be like, oh, there's the back foot of my cow.
Yeah.
Or and that'd be what your thumbnail looks like. And you've seen them out there. You've seen shorts with this thumbnail that you have no idea what you're even looking at.
Yeah.
It's a piece of a part of something.
What is that?
And you don't know what you're looking at, and you don't even click on it because you're like, oh, that looks.
Yeah, I build all of mine from Canva. All of my thumbnails I build myself. I don't trust YouTube to pick them for me at all. So
I don't understand why you would ever delete a video or short that you put time into filming and editing. Mitzi, I will kill a short. The short will come back. Don't get me wrong. The short will come back. Will come back. The video, if I kill a video, it's because I've killed a video one time because I didn't like how I came across in it. So it was like, I guess I could edit it out, but then I lose what I was actually going for. So I killed a video because of that, because of the way I felt like I came across, maybe some of the comments or something like that. And that was back in my very early on. That was back before any of these folks on here or you even knew who I was. So
we still don't know who you are.
Yeah. Who dat? Anyway.
Johnny who?
Yeah. No. But short, I'll kill a short every day, and it'll come back. You'll get to watch it. It'll still be somebody watching the short. But
bottom line is, it's your channel. You do what you fit, what works best for you. That's what works for Johnny. Okay, he's telling you what works for him.
Right.
That may not be what you need to do for yours. Johnny's just giving you what his goals are.
Yeah.
Okay. Your goals may be different, but he's telling you what works. He's telling you what works for him, and he's been very successful. So.
Yep.
Yeah. And Midway Farm says that's what YouTube recommended. They recommended I do more shorts. And yes, that's what I recommend as well. I'm sure everybody on the panel here would recommend that same thing, because shorts are subs. Once you get your subs up and stuff like that, but I can also tell you something else. Views are subs.
Yeah.
So if you can get your long form videos, if you can get people to watch them, and like I said, always watch your video over and over and over again. And anytime, your fifth time watching it, you're bored with it. You're bored with your own video. You've watched it 5 times, right, in a row. And you start to snooze at some point in it, cut that part out of your video. And then continue on, carry on. Always keep it to where it's holding someone. You want a video that you can put out that a person will look at, and if they have to take a phone call, they can hardly wait to get back to finish your video. If they forget your video when they're taking the phone call and they don't finish it, you've lost watch time of a video.
Yeah. Well, again, if you go on your analytics again, Johnny, back to that, you'll see, if you're seeing that line drop down within 20 seconds or whatever, and it drops way down and it says, you have 20% of viewers still watching at, the 30-second mark, then you've got to ask yourself, where'd the other 80% go? You have to be honest with yourself. You've got to be brutally honest with your content, yourself. And, you know, you may think that you're the next Brad Pitt, but they may not think that it's worth watching at all.
Right.
And there's people out there that really are in love with themselves, and they think, long as my face is up there, they're going to just sit there glued to their seat. And they're going, well, here's a reality check. No, they're not. So, you know, they always talk about that first 10-second hook, you know, that your video has to have that grabs their attention, you know, and, you know, use that put that hook in, like catching a fish, hook it so you can reel them in, you know, and then across, if you're getting 50% retention, all the YouTube teachers and pros say if you can maintain 40 to 50% retention across that, you're doing really good. And so, you know, that's the goal.
Right, exactly. And so Celebrating Farm Life said, where exactly can you set the thumbnail for shorts? YouTube always says the shorts. No, you can set it yourself. Whenever you're making your short, say you're making it on your phone. You get to the point where it's, you know, you're doing the editing portion of it. You're in the edit. You can click right on that, the actual, there's right on the actual, like the video itself. You can click on that and it will let you slide your finger across it, and it'll go frame by frame by frame until you get to where you can set that thumbnail. You stop right there, and then you hit that. Basically, there's a complete icon right there. You finish that up, and then you go into your editing, and that's where you're going to be putting in all your hashtags and stuff like that. Now in shorts, I found that if I hashtag the entire, if I use all my spaces for hashtags, if I have my title and I use all my hashtag spaces, you'll notice on my shorts it'll be Brangus, bull, cattle, ranch, you know, et cetera, all the way down. Shorts feed, shorts, all the way till I'm completely out of room on that. I mean, I don't have any more that I can put in. Then you go down and you make sure that you've got it set to the right audience that you like, whether it's how to and style, people in blogs, pets and animals, et cetera, you want to make sure all that stuff is set correctly. Then, you know, you're going to publish your video. And
if you
description, a lot of people, I found some people put descriptions in their shorts, and I have had to go back in on some of my viral shorts and put in a friggin' description because people just kept on and on and on and on and on about stuff, which I'm going to tell you right now, if they keep on and on and on about stuff, it's pushing you higher.
Yeah. But so a lot of times I found, Johnny, that a lot of people don't even read that description anyway.
Oh yeah. But whenever somebody says, well, that's something he pulled right up there, and he knew that snake was there. He wouldn't have put a camera there, you know, on my snake video. Yeah, right. I get
people say stuff too about you know, cutting trees and stuff like that, and whatever. I'll describe, and I'll say, you know, they'll say something really, you know, smart mouth. You know, people can be so insulting, and you know, they can really be condescending in the comments sometimes, and so it's negative, but it's still attention. But a lot of times I'll come back and say, because it'll be something that I said in the description, and I'll say, if you read the description, you will discover why this was done this way. You know, so it is what it is. And I want to throw you a quick, Ginger. Yes, you can. Any helpful hints at all, Ginger, is welcome. Okay.
So I want to say that if you're doing shorts, on all my shorts, if I don't have, you know, he put Brangus and beef and cattle and all that, I try to put whatever the content's about. But if I don't put anything, the one I do put is hashtag shorts, because the people that do it by hashtag. So for example, you see that car behind in the picture here, it's called GTO. If I was a guy who's looking for car videos, and especially GTO, I'm gonna go hashtag hot rod or hashtag GTO, and it'll give me every single video that has anything to do with GTOs. There are people that's all they do. They'll look hashtag
Yeah.
smiley face, hashtag whatever. So put at least whatever the content is, or at least at a minimum, hashtag shorts, because it will drive people to your video.
It will.
Oh,
Anything that has to do with that video or even your channel, put it on there, you know.
See, Tony, on my shorts, since it's a smaller amount of where you get 200 characters or something like that, since it's a short, all my stuff is about my short. All the hashtags are, it's Brangus, bull, cattle, ranch, you know, shorts feed, shorts, etc., etc. Animals, hashtag animals. But whenever I do a long form video and I've got 500 spaces for tags,
500 characters.
yeah, 500 characters, 500 tags, or characters on my tags. Whenever I go into that, I will fill it. Even if it doesn't have something to do with that specific video, it has to do with my channel.
Yeah.
So people looking at that, whenever they search it, it will be, you know, it'll have something to do with your channel. So there you go. I mean, you're not fibbing to them because it's all about your channel. Your channel has all of this in it.
Well, I know when I do like a milling video for, you know, the sawmill, I always put in there Woodland Mills HM126 because that's the hashtag because that's the mill I have. And the reason I do that is for a couple, you know, because one, as Jesse said, people will search through hashtags. So that's guaranteed. But I always put in the company name, Woodland Mills, because that sends a tag to them. They get the notification. And they are such a large, like they have millions of people coming to theirs. And so it taps my content into them where many other people will see it through them because they'll take some of the stuff I'm doing and they've used it on promotional videos with their company and stuff like that. And so that widens that base of people that are watching your content.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
those hashtags, you know, whatever you can put in there for your channel, for what you're doing. I mean, the brand of seeds you're using, you know, what boots, you know, your advertise, whatever, you know, put it in there because it does work. It really does.
All right. So guys, we've been on, it's 9:43. We've been on here. Actually, I've been on here for 2 hours and 40 something minutes now. This isn't the last one. This isn't the end of it. I'll probably do another one during the Chilling with the Gillums. I'm sure I'll just make it another one of these. So, and we'll go a little bit more in depth, but this will get you started. And if you didn't get to see the very first part of this that showed where I was showing like the analytics screens and things like that, and was talking about the SEO scores, which is your search engine optimization scores, where your creator, basically creator, what was that word? I can't remember right now. Anyway, creator content is what I think it was, creator content. If there's a score for that, what that means is you will actually, if your video ends, like on one of my videos, 6 of the next 20 recommendations are actually my videos. So that's pretty good because, like I said, if somebody falls asleep watching a video and you're in 6 of the 20 and if they go all the way through it, 6 of your videos got watched.
Yeah.
I'm just saying. But also somebody can find more of your content on your channel. If they watched the video and they really liked it, they could go, oh, here he is again. Here they are again. Here they are again. Here they are again, you know, while they're going through there. Next thing you know, you've got somebody who's watched enough of your videos that every one of your recommendations, even if they don't subscribe, because I can tell you there's a ton of channels that I do not subscribe to that I've watched them enough that they pop up all the time in my recommended videos. So like I said, they don't have to be subscribed to you for you to get a lot of good views and stuff like that off those folks. There's a lot of people who won't subscribe. There's a lot of people who only watch you on TV and they don't know how to subscribe through their remote and all that stuff.
Yeah, it's a little bit harder.
Yeah, it's a lot harder whenever they're watching on. And I watch a ton of YouTube on TV. I like to see I hate to watch YouTube on my phone. I'll watch it on my computer, or I'll watch it on TV. If I want to comment, I go to my phone and pull up the video, and I comment on my phone.
Yeah, that's the way we do it.
Because I can't, but I want to see it in all its glory. I don't want to see it like this. I want to see, because you just can't get everything you want. So suggestion got season 1 episode live 2. What is TubeBuddy and how to use it? You need, look it up. TubeBuddy. You can get TubeBuddy for free.
Yeah, I dropped the link in earlier.
Before the next one that you get it, or vidIQ. There's vidIQ out there.
Yeah,
there's several. There's several.
YouTube Buddy works good, and it's just an attachment. It's all it is. It goes in your toolbar, so that when you open your YouTube app and you're there editing, doing whatever you do, when your video is uploading, all that stuff, it just, like you already said, it just helps you really zero in on certain parts where it has the SEO score of that video, and it's right there.
So YouTube Buddy is really good. There are 1,001 YouTube Buddy videos out there, and we're in YouTube. Go out there and use those resources.
Yeah,
it'll show you how to use them. So, and it's real simple.
Yeah,
and the SEO scores are very, very important, especially on your long videos.
They are.
Lori says, I don't see a free version of TubeBuddy.
There is. I dropped the link earlier. I'm not sure if it's still up there, but let me see if I can find it.
Ginger, if you're still listening, Ginger, she had a question there about Chronicles. I don't know if you heard my response, but sure, anything that we can do to make Chronicles more user friendly. And again, that's our Sunday channel.
Johnny just dropped it again.
There it is. Yeah,
you're good, Johnny. That's what I love about you, Johnny. You just put Johnny on the spot.
Johnny on the spot.
He ain't no Johnny come lately. He's Johnny on the spot.
Hey, guys, look for the next one. I'll put up a thumbnail that is similar kind of to the one I put up before. That thumbnail that I put up, you notice that the guy was looking at me like I was a nut or something beside me. I was videoing at that time. This is videoing in public, guys. Whenever you video in public, you got people that are looking at you like, what are you doing? You're pointing a camera at yourself. But anyway, so I'll put up another thumbnail that is similar to that one, or maybe that same thumbnail, and we'll have episode 2 of this. We'll get a little bit more in depth, and I'll go through some more of the analytics stuff, and we'll go through more on the SEO and things like that. It's showing $6 per month is the cheapest, is what Bill said. Wow, we got it when it was free.
Yeah, we must be grandfathered in.
It must be grandfathered in. So
well, they have a free version, and it only gives you like suggested shorts. It gives you milestones, best time to publish. There's very few things that gives you to get the free one. You can get the TubeBuddy mobile app. So
yeah, mine's free. I have the free version, and it's SEO, and that's all that matters to me. So,
yeah, and it shows your SEO score and all that stuff. What I like about mine is it will also like if I watch somebody else's video, it will compare my stats to their stats.
Yes.
So I can see how I compare to another channel.
Yeah.
So TubeBuddy also, if you don't have very good, if you're not very good at maybe picking your thumbnail, it'll help you build a thumbnail. It'll also help you with titles.
Yep.
So if I don't know what to title it, they give you. It looks at all the other videos that are related to what you're putting out, and it'll help you come up with a title.
It gives you the top 5 tags as well for that topic.
And tags. So SEO has got a lot of information.
Yeah.
And it's there for you to use, but depends on which one you get.
Yeah, I'm going to recommend, if you can, get TubeBuddy or one of the other, like vidIQ is one. TubeBuddy is one. We just went with TubeBuddy because we had seen we had familiarity with it, I guess, a little bit.
Yeah.
So we went with TubeBuddy, and I like being able to compare. Like whenever I watch somebody else's video, I like being able to compare because you can tell how they're doing as compared to how you're doing, not for competition's sake, but to see how good you are. You know, as far as what YouTube is looking at, you can tell. Like you say, you pull up and I'm gonna say a big view channel, and then you see how your views compare to a big view channel, and as time goes on, your views will, they'll start lining up, and you'll see that how it all works. And that's all I want to do, guys. I know everybody's situation is different. I know everybody doesn't have the time to put into it like I do, because I can put some time into YouTube. I mean, I spend about 3 days a week at auctions, all day a lot of times, so that I can put out some stuff. And going out to the cattle, that's just my normal everyday stuff. I mean, I just happen to throw a camera on the dozer or something like that and do a video about it while I'm out there, or try to. But anyway, I appreciate everybody being in here with us for nearly 3 hours. We held a really good crowd the first, half, I'd say, or better of this deal. And I want to thank y'all and come back again for the next one. It'll probably be on a Saturday night. Just get ready for that. But anyway, thank you, Jesse. Thank you, Tony. Y'all have anything you want to say or plug or do anything before we hop off here?
No, thanks to you guys for with all the good content you put out, and everybody else. Thanks for hanging around, and just it's all good. Let's grow together.
Well, man, thank you for coming in and all those little things, because one person can't think of it all.
Mm-hmm.
One person can't. They have to bounce things off of each other, and that's what we did. We bounced things off of each other, and that helped a bunch.
And I appreciate some of the questions and the topics that the chat came up with. So that helps you also think of, I see something, I want to talk about that,
Yep.
So thank you to the chat for bringing up all the different ideas and comments.
Yes, absolutely, because they brought up a bunch of good questions and stuff like that. And like I said, remember this: shorts are subs, lives are watch hours, videos are views, and money, a lot of money. So, and you can make money at all of it, but I'm telling you, if you can get views on videos, that's going to be your ultimate, is an actual video view.
It views.
But try to, just remember, views is the whole thing that you're trying to do. So anyway,
I tell you what, if we can go out here with a slogan, I'd like to say, let's get everybody paid.
Let's get everybody paid.
Get everybody paid.
That's a good one. Let's get
everybody show me the money.
Even if you don't want it, you can always send it to me. Let's get everybody paid.
That's right. All right, guy. Louis, we're going to head out. Thanks for all the mods that were in the chat and all the people out there. And
it's
we
midnight
will talk
here.
to you all the next time.
It's
Watch for the thumbnail.